we hit go live. Hi guys. Yeah, we're here.
Me? What?
No, not
I'm
you.
singular.
I don't care about you.
Oh.
No, you're not. You got multiple personalities. We all know it.
And 3 of them are admiral. And that's why you have to keep me at commander. Because if you say I'm an admiral or a captain, those personalities come out and they need the in chargeness. Okay. All makes sense now. All makes sense. Does it make sense? I don't know. What do you I made some meta Trekyards canon there.
Indeed. So welcome back, guys. We are doing an episode review today, as you guys well know, or should know.
Pretty
Darmok.
self-explanatory, yeah.
And, as per the commander's suggestion,
yes,
it's going to be a drinking one. So every super chat that has a metaphor from either the episode, Trek in general, or for Trekyards, we will take a drink for. I've got an example there posted at the top of the chat. So yeah, Captain and Commander at Trekyards when the likes spiked.
That's good.
See? Shit like
good.
that.
Yeah, that took a bit of brain power, that did. Well done. You know, exactly, I thought it was a fun, silly idea, because this is one of those... Now, I hadn't seen the episode in a very, very long time, so I was going pure reputation of being silly in the sense that it's kind of a... We know what it is episode. I may not have thought that having watched it. We'll find out. We'll find out. But hopefully you guys can make at least Stuart say some real weird shit.
I'm having red wine tonight.
Oh, goodness.
It's Croatian.
Goodness. That will equate to even better sounding proverbs. And I did manage. I've been slowly building up my library of the cider I really like. Every time I just happen to go on something else, like, oh, they've got some. Just ready for our drinkings.
In case.
Yeah. Because they're coming.
Well, they're already coming in. So Sean Carpe, $5. I wore my Shaka when the walls fell shirt for this day. That's not a metaphor that we don't have to drink for that one.
Oh. Hands off.
He did say Shaka when the walls fell, but
you know what? He'll get a satisfying ASMR open. Okay.
Sure.
Not bad, actually.
Tenchi, 2K7, $5. The Trekyard stream when the captain and commander arrived. Yes. Ha! Cheers.
I'm not limiting necessarily to a sip. I'm just like drinking. So there'll be varied amounts here. I've got 3 in the fridge, so if you get me through 3 in the fridge, I'm absolutely okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So that's a good way to get started. And we already have 30 likes as well. So 39 people here, 30 likes. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't already, please. And yeah.
And I will get sharing.
Go share, yes. So Commander, when he shares, the captain speaks. I don't know. Some will be good, some will be hits, some will be misses. What can I say? So yes, if you can super chat, by all means, please do so. Especially in this one, it could be fun. Say like one of the metaphors from the episode, or make one up for Star Trek or Trekyards, and we will take a drink. So I don't know if we'll ever even get through this review, but we will try. We will endeavor to try anyway. So yes, you can also support the channel by helping us on a monthly basis by clicking the join button or heading over to Patreon/Trekyards. Also, there's links in the description for a whole bunch of cool stuff, and including some discount codes and things, so check those out as well. And there's Trekyards merch down below. So if you want to be part of the Trekyards crew and have your Trekyards shirt, there's a bunch of different kinds you can get, and we'd really appreciate that because we love seeing that stuff. So especially when we're out at conventions and stuff and we actually run into the people wearing the actual stuff out in the wild is really fun. So if you can, please consider doing so. You can also send a PayPal. If you do send a PayPal, though, just let us know in the regular chat that you sent that. Let the moderators know, and they will let us know, and we will read your comment or question via the email from PayPal. So So hello everyone that's here. Dan23, Martin, Devo, Jason, Sergeant Montgomery, Ryan, Tenchi. We'll get to all your super chats and stuff in just a second as soon as the commander gets back. The commander, his time taken. I'm not really good at this, but we'll come up with some good ones, I'm sure. Children of Tama. Yes, that's what they're called. National Astronaut Day. Dun dun dun. This will be a fun one for sure. We'll see how this goes. Red wine kind of affects me funny. I mean, I get kind of lovey-dovey. Oh, sorry, I'm still here, don't worry. But yeah. I'm looking forward to some creativity today. Like I said, there's a pin post at the top kind of explaining what's going on, and if you can do that, that'd be awesome. But by all means, one of the best ways to help us out is just hit that like button. Super easy. Anybody can do it. This little thumbs up thing. Hit it. Make it blue. Black and blue. We'd appreciate it. USS Clemson ship. What does that mean? What's the reason for Captain Picard having a different uniform? The reason Picard has a different uniform was because he complained that Kirk had 2 uniforms, so they gave him another uniform. And I actually like that uniform, so take that, haters. Hello. Got some super chats in, Samuel.
Oh!
Want to read them?
Samuel is drinking at the brothers. Everything's at Tanagra, like everything. So.
Ryan Megas, $5. Let's drink with arms wide. Cheers, boys.
Yeah, close enough.
It'll work.
That's nice.
Sergeant Montgomery, $5. Enterprise with sails unfurled. Translation: this means travel or departure. Yes. Mm-hmm. Sails unfurls means let's get the fuck out of here. They say it a few times in the episode.
Yes. Also implying they had sails at some point. They had actual boat travel.
Well, on the ocean, but you know. Sean Corpay, $5. When Sean shares his profit, the captain and commander down one like a rocket. Well, that's not very...
It's more of a proverb, maybe.
It'll work.
I mean, close enough is close enough. I mean, if they couldn't translate... Who say we can't translate our audience? You know, maybe it's a thing and we don't know. We added it. Only at the end, when we've been boozed up, can we translate your beautiful green bars of Super Chat.
Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, €5. Hey guys, one of the best episodes. Celebrating getting my first COVID shot yesterday with some champagne. Let's have a toast to Darmok and Gelad.
You get one for that.
Sure.
Pardon me. Congratulations. Do you feel any better? Mentally or whatever? Or yes,
I got my first shot too.
Ah.
So.
Do you feel any mentally better?
Well, yeah. I just want to get out and travel. This is all done. I'm going to go for a long car trip and go visit some people and hang out and just have fun.
You'll drive to LA because you can.
I'm considering driving to Denver, actually. Just 21-hour drive. I'll just drive for 10 hours, stop, then drive another 10 hours. Yeah. There's people in between that I can visit, like, you know, Joe in Chicago, and I actually know a few people in Chicago. Would probably spend some time there. So, you know, break it up. It might be fun.
Or just go to Ticonderoga just do a captain's log on the bridge. F it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's like, I want to get out. I'll just go to the Enterprise. What?
Yeah. Jarzia, $5. Captain and commander at the live stream. Foley, his bottle with cork removed. That's perfect. That's going to get a good big gulp from you.
Can I think of any custom ones for, like, my background? Have a brain think.
All right, Samuel, what did you think of Darmok? This is like your second time seeing it.
Yes, pretty much.
So let me know. Tell me. Talk to me.
Well, nice to be asked first. Haha. Yeah, I mean, this one is, and also we did the pre-season, and I got the concept right, just not the specific. You know, I had no memories of him dying, etc. So I still didn't quite believe that until right at the end. Cause it feels quite out of left field. The character didn't have to die. It was kind of, he did. It says on, but didn't have to. No.
Yeah.
And also the way they play it, for some reason, the way they kind of say it is, his life signs have gone. Is he dead? I was thinking, no, he's in hibernation to survive. Like, I was thinking, he's not dead. They don't know he's an alien. And they're like, oh, he is dead. That's weird. Like, the way it plays isn't quite satisfying, but I guess it's not meant to be. I don't know. But it was good. I mean, I think this episode works a lot better in the 80s or early 90s, before TV got more complicated, because this is a very simple episode. Nowadays, it would be done better, more intricate, and in fact, this episode was done in Stargate, as you saw, with Shaka rather than Chaka, or reversed, when Daniel Jackson was trying to talk to the Eunice. Same thing, but a more enjoyable episode with more complexity, better, like in this episode, he says the same 3 sentences. In that episode, it's a really, like, you genuinely build a rapport. These guys, they do and then they suddenly do. I think the Stargate one did it better. Less arty, but that one more, like, better story. This isn't really a story, it's a tale. You know? So it's a very basic thing that works fine, but doesn't hold up as well conceptually now when TV has got more interesting and more complicated.
Interesting, yeah.
That's kind of where I'd go.
But you enjoyed it though, yes? Or
yes, I wasn't disappointed or anything, but it's really simple. Yeah. You know, it doesn't get points for a great story, and I was.
Oh, go ahead.
And I was very, very, very surprised that I thought it was more clever when it came to dialogue. I got somewhat annoyed that they kept repeating the same one phrase again and again. I thought that was like the one that stands out, but it's like it was used too many times. It became a blur of it's losing me now. And then it kind of
kept saying failure a lot, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And luckily it recaptures you with the campfire, with the and bonding scene, but it's right on the precipice of this is so repetitive. This is really losing you as an audience. Pulls you back up, but I think I was expecting a lot more Picard being an epic, like talking guy, but he really isn't until one moment. So it was not as good as I thought it was going to be by a long way, and the script was a lot less clever than I thought it was going to be. But if you're in the situation, I can see the guy just saying, "No, seriously, help me." Why would he keep saying more words or doesn't understand anything? Just stick to the same brief.
Well, that's what people do when they don't understand the language. Like, do you have any food? And you say it louder. Do you have any food? Slower and louder, repeating the same thing.
Yeah, so, it's just, you know, if you're trying to get context clues from a language, if you say the same 3 words, you're not gaining anything. So like I say, the script, it doesn't hold up so well now. It's definitely of the 80s. It was smarter at the time. But it's good. Just not amazing.
This is one I find every time I watch it, I get more out of it, and I really understand their language a lot better, even when they're arguing on the bridge.
That would certainly change it, actually, from rewatching it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
You get to understand exactly what they're saying, without understanding what they're saying. So yeah, you get more out of it. The more
that's
time
really
you watch this
yeah.
one. I did really enjoy it this watch through. And yeah, I'd kind of forgotten that he tells him the story of Gilgamesh, King, whatever his name is.
Gilgamesh.
That guy. Gilgamesh, that's it, thank you. So I think it was really well done. And when he says, "Oh, I'm not a storyteller," it's like, really? Really? Coming from you? Anyway, this one was quite interesting. And I forgot about the shuttle thing. There's a lot I forgot about in this one. And the one thing that frustrates me now is I know that Red Letter Media has that animal head.
Do they?
And they bought it at an auction and they were throwing it around on the ground and shit during their TNG reviews.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so they're not treating it well, and that kind of pisses me off a little bit. So, but anyway, it is what it is. So. And
I will admit, I love that point, because I was really watching this as close to a first watch as possible, where I was really experiencing the confusion the audience is experiencing until, like, the natural way meant to experience it, where the reveal, the satisfying moment of Picard communicating, that's a moment. If you watched it twice, that moment, that the pacing is totally different. There isn't a journey. Well, when was the last time you'd seen it then? Or was it semi-fresh? Or was it really...
No. I haven't seen this one for quite a long time.
Okay.
I would say at least 3-4 years. When we did our last TNG.
Did you say watch it twice for this?
Yeah.
Okay. And it felt distinctly different the second time?
Yes, because I was actually reading the subtitles as well, just second time to get those.
That would help.
Yeah. So.
I bet it felt a lot quicker the second time too.
Oh yeah, it felt quick the first time. Honestly, it's like there wasn't as much here as I thought there was.
But first introduction of the Type 6 shuttle.
Nice. Didn't know that.
Well, because we haven't seen it yet when we watched them in order, so it's like if it appears, like, oh my god, that's the first time. So Starship 5 just happened. Is what we're saying. Let's say the shuttle. In not the best way of it coming over, but I love the cavalier nature of send a shuttle. It's a new shuttle. Not for us. Yeah. We've had it since season 1. Didn't you see it? In Farpoint. Recon.
Yeah, they've only seen this Type 15s up to now, that really small one. So.
Yeah. Well, and Andy's one, to be fair.
Yeah. Well.
Yes. What do you guys say?
We got a lot of super chats. Let's get to those. Jersey at $2. Samuel, his fleet with renders done.
I like it.
I'm gonna hold on to the glass. No stuff. Super Coops, £5. One for later. The captain, his nipples of power uncovered. Meaning the captain has consumed much alcohol.
I think that's 2 to you. That's 2 to... I'm donating mine to you. I think that was intentional.
It should have been thrusting nipples of power, though.
That would have been 2 to me, then. Oh, what do we make in this show? What do we make? Oy.
Okay. Matt Boardman, $10. This episode still has impact to me each time I watch, especially later when Dathon is injured and Picard tells the story, knowing that Dathon is going to die. Yeah, and this is one I wish you almost wouldn't have. Would have been great for him to have this like captain friend that might come in, in season 7 to save the day or something. To have that rapport with because I mean they are part of their legacy now, their story. Picard and Dathon at Eldril or whatever the name of the planet was. So I mean, yeah, that would have been cool. But
well, and also there's a strange omission with this one that you don't really realize. I mean, you do, but we're Trekyards. This alien ship, Temerian ship, which I've always known the name Temerian. I mean, you see the ship, but it's never the Temerians again. It can disable the Enterprise's forward shields in about 3 shots.
Yep.
This is a more powerful than Federation ship, which means it's more powerful than Galatians, than most Klingon ships. Like this is a absolutely brand spanking powerful fleet ship, and this isn't. Although the scale is totally broken, like you can't tell how big the ship is. I don't buy it's as big as it shows. I think it's more false perspective. But these guys are like superpowers.
Yeah. But
they literally never come back and have no impact. When you would think that would be amazingly powerful to have. People aren't this strong, Well,
the one thing that annoys me is the fact that they would have this problem with every alien species they encounter. No one being able to understand them.
Yeah.
So they'd have a procedure like
download
our database, read our stories.
That's such a good point.
And you might know, because even Data says we need context to these stories. With the relationship we have with them right now, we're not likely to get that. But everybody would be confused that talk to them. So how did they get so spacefaring and so advanced? And I don't think a culture would evolve to talk like that. Yes, you get the main principles, Shaka when the walls fell. But tell a little more of the story to the person you're talking to, because he does that at the campfire. He kind of fills in the gaps of like they came to the island, they fought a beast. Even mentions beast. Say that shit earlier too. Don't always, Well,
it's also bizarre because are they being universal translated from their own into humanized words, which are then translatable? Because if they're speaking their own language, why is one of the words beast? But also Tanagra, which is not a human word. So the entire premise is nonsense. Like, it doesn't work remotely. They can't speak that way. It doesn't work, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's a sci-fi concept. It's like a silicon life form. It's like, Like, so yes, plot hole, love it. Now, if it was their first, if they like went to their solar system and they were like, oh my god, that's powerful, and it was like their first contact with anybody, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, and because they are so friendly, give or take, like they would want to be friendly. You can kind of tell. You would think, like you say, you have. Oh, that's so annoying. That's such an annoying plot hole. I love it.
Yeah. Bugs me a little bit.
Oh.
Shadow, £2, Darmok, when the beer can fell.
Darmok won the Darmok when the bladder failed.
Sean Garpier, $5. On this channel, the ship's thickness revealed. That's great. Kai L. Wong, £10.
Ooh.
Hey dudes, I missed the Star Wars ship review yesterday as I was out for my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Star Wars Day, which means I'm a Jedi. Saw this afternoon, and it was a good episode.
Thank you.
Yes, well, thank you for watching it, and happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Could date to be a birthday when you get to. Although you won't just want every birthday Star Wars themed, that'll get a bit repetitive. But hope you had a good day. Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle won again, £5. I actually really like Darmok's ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a gently pretty good.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, yeah, it's pretty good.
SWTX Chaser, $5. Work had me today between Shaka when the walls fell and Foley on the live stream when the internet fails. Really looking forward to this. I'll take a drink for that one.
Like it. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
Oh yeah, I should probably get the picture, shouldn't I?
Might be helpful.
Might be. I don't know. Will it? Yes, there are. Oh wait, no. Does it start in the conference room with it? It does. Okay, cool. No.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
The first picture, I mean. Okay. Which is great. They made a graphic for the. They rarely do that, which is frustrating because it'd be such a nice touch to always have graphics. So yes, the first thing to say, new uniform. The elephant in the room.
I like it. That is what I would wear as a captain. I like that, and the fact that it has the gray with the black when he takes the jacket off, so it kind of leads into the later uniforms a little bit. It's kind of loose fitting though, especially like the way it tucks in, and the boots where the bottom of the pants go up to the boots. It's very TOS. It's got kind of a weird vibe, and I'm not so sure about the shiny leather on the shoulders, but I do still like it. I still do like the idea of the jacket. So you don't like it, I know that. Let's hear your thoughts.
I like nothing about it. I think it's probably the worst uniform in TNG. Probably one of the worst prime Star Trek uniforms. It's so random. He looks bad in it. The grey underneath is awful. Makes me think of Wesley Crusher's cadet uniform, which he shouldn't be wearing. He looks. It's very baggy. It's clearly not made. It's not tailored for him. It doesn't look professional. Having a two-piece just looks confusing. The leather's out of nowhere. It's way too shiny, like you said. If it was a fabric, fine. If the bottom bit was the normal fabric and the top was a crisp, like the same, like a black, that'd be so much better. But the fact that it's completely, it looks like he's wearing a cushion with retro leather on his shoulder. Like it's totally random. I mean, it's as different as the Kirk wraparound is, but that actually looks good on him. It looks terrible to me. I dislike it wholeheartedly. One of my least favorites.
I disagree 1,000%.
Great.
Head to head, Captain versus Commander. I would wear it just on principle. I would wear this every day that you were on the bridge with me, just to be a dick.
And I would think you looked awful every day. But you have worn one. Dad did give you at least the outer shirt.
Yes.
But then if you take it off, Stuart, it'll be Wesley Crusher.
No, I'll be closer.
You wore the same colour, the same style, pretty much.
I'm gonna hit you.
Try, bitch. But yes, Temerians.
No, we got a super chat.
Super Chattians.
Jarzia, $5. One of the TNG novels explains they have a second musical language for precise math, engineering, science concepts. That's interesting. That's really interesting, actually, because I wondered how they would go about creating starships and science with just using
Shaka, the warp core at 43%.
And how did that develop? Like, how did their language develop? They must have had a language before they started doing the metaphor thing. So
yes,
I don't know. It just bugs me.
No, it's completely non. non-logical, but it's alien. It actually feels alien. That's the whole point. It's that the fact that they are so astounded by it shows that it's the absolute epitome of wait, what? That's why it's great. It doesn't make sense because they're aliens.
And Sean Corpe, $5. Captain Foley, the Beast Reviled, PS5. Damn PS5. Anyway, so yeah, they basically go here because the Temerians are here. They have been broadcasting a signal towards the Federation with no clear message, but a mathematical whatever, blah blah blah. And so they assume they're attempting communication. Federation ships have run into them 7 times over the past 100 years. And each time they've been described as incomprehensible. So, and Picard's like, well, I just find understanding people is usually just a matter of patience and actually listening. And I think with our experience, we might be able to handle this. So it's a nice message here for sure. And the reason that they're here, they've been summoned here by them. So what exactly for? We don't know. But I think it's a good opening, actually.
It is, and it's odd because everyone acts a little bit unusual. I would love to.
Yeah, Data's got a twitch on his thumb, and the way his inflection is when he talks is really weird.
He has extra happy and he's extra emotive.
It's like he wasn't in Data mode yet.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
hadn't had the coffee yet, which is interesting. But he does feel now it's not quite as off as other episodes, but it is definitely giving unusual vibes. And Picard, I mean, it's super foreshadowing. We know, even someone who just knows the legacy of it, knows he's going to do this to deal with, him. He's actually Mr. Bragging. Oh, I can translate languages, ha ha ha, which is kind of unlike him. He's too positive and it's kind of strange. Although he's not very good at it later, really. Daniel Jackson's much better in Stargate SG-1.
Yeah.
Hoshi Sato is much better. He's not actually. I think the whole point of the episode, he's rusty. He can't set a fire. He can't do this anymore. He's actually not. He used to be better. That's kind of the vibe I get.
Frustrates me in this episode by how long it takes him to figure it out.
Well, they all do. It's a drawn out sequence of events. I mean, especially Data. We'll get into that.
Sorry.
Yeah. But it does. But there's a certain vibe to the crew where I feel like they're all having a good day on set, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it's as if I think it feels like as if they're season 7 them, where they're just let's hang out. Whereas they're still earlier them. Except with Riker.
Season 5 already. It's been 5 seasons. So.
True. Except Riker. Riker's weird as well. They're all weird this week. Worf's pretty consistent, to be fair. But Riker's weird. Anyway.
Yeah. Eugene, 1,000 rubles.
Oof.
Lore Reloaded and Anti-Tracker at Trekyards.
Sponsored by Eugene.
That's a great metaphor. I like that.
I like it.
Oh, speaking of, I didn't win the Jeopardy thing last night. I was playing against Lore Reloaded too. That was really fun. But anyway,
nice.
Came in second, so I mean that's something.
Very respectable, Stuart. You can't get much better than second.
You can't get one better, I guess.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
You Ebon Hawk, no, you X-winged it, Stuart.
Yes.
Which was number 2. Reference.
Anywho, next scene, they are talking to them, and they are talking about the Wani under 2 moons, Ubaya of Crossroads. So yeah, everybody's kind of looking around on the bridge like, oh, these guys are incomprehensible. Lunga, her sky gray. Counselor Troy basically says, I sense no ill will from them, just good intentions. And Data makes a point of saying, hey, they're saying proper names and locations, which is interesting because later when they ask what the words mean, there's 47 in this sector of different planets and stuff.
Well, I don't know if do they quantify the I thought it was just in their database. I didn't remember hearing.
No, it was in the sector. It was in this sector, she says. Well, we'll get there.
That's okay. I didn't hear that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there are proper names and stuff, but the cross-referencing should have been a lot easier. But anyway, that's later.
Well, Data should have done it in his brain.
I know. That frustrates the Chancellor Troy. Oh, that's
Squadron course.
Oh, where's Squadra Course? Oh, skipped my super chat. Did I? Oh my god, I'm sorry. $2. Picard's jacket. It's style diverse. Hi all.
It's not diverse.
All right, that's one glass of wine down already. I don't think I might have enough wine for this.
Oh no! What a shame.
I think there's white wine up there. I might have to open another bottle.
See, guys, keep super chatting and still get happier and happier and more fighty about the uniform.
Samuel, you can be wrong once in a while. It's fine. You don't have to feel bad about it.
No, I agree. I shouldn't feel bad.
You're usually right. You're usually on point.
You mean when I agree with you?
No. There's been times where I've admitted that I was wrong. You were right. This is not one of those times because you are definitely wrong.
Yeah. No, it's pure aesthetics. It's like my dad absolutely hates the First Contact uniform. Hates it, but I don't know. No, this scene was odd. I love the hard cut from the very positive, upbeat first scene to this. Everyone's like, we're the best of the best. Like, it feels like almost a sitcom, almost chill day on set. It's very, very weird. But they rarely have a genuine, we are stumped. That rarely happens, like legitimately stumped to the point where everyone's just like, But it does seem odd though. They say stuff, Picard's like, what could it mean? And Data just says, as you said, it's verbs and nouns. And I was expecting Picard to say, well, yes, obviously, tell me something I don't know. Like, Data says it as if it's anything useful. That's just the most cursory information. It's just, obviously, it's this. Like, Stuart, do you know wearing a shirt on an earphone? Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Commander. That's helpful. It's like, no. I knew that. I was listening. Yeah. It's very strange.
Anybody listening can find out there's proper names and
Data!
Places, like...
Be Data for a day. That's why you're here, to be Data.
I do love the argument, though, that they have on the Temerian ship. Like, he's like, Darmok and Gelada Tanagra. And the first officer's like, no. And he offers something else. And the captain's like, no. Something about a river. And then they have like so this is how we're going to do this. I love that because the more you listen to it, the more you understand exactly what the hell they're saying. Because the first officer makes the suggestion of Zima and Bakor. And the captain's like, no, Darmok and Tanagra. Because it's like, how are we going to deal with this situation? I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And you, like I said, the more you watch it, the more you catch on to this stuff. And it's really, really quite interesting.
This is also one of my favourite so far one-off bridge. Like, they put thought and effort into this. It feels unique, interesting. There's a lot of this scene, they just stare at the view screen. It's oddly a long time. And obviously throughout the entire episode. But they actually put money in, and it really is very effective.
SWTX Chaser, $5 should have set the universal translator to Twitter mode.
Oh.
Oh, good God.
But no, certainly it's an interesting thing. But it does feel, the first scene does feel like you've gone to I don't know. You've gone to Russia, and you are just telling you're at the airport, and you go up to the baggage person and say, "Hello, can I help you? Can you help me?" And they're just speaking Russian. Like, no, can you help me? And they're like, there is that real sense of they just can't connect. And it's frustrating as an audience, but incredibly intentional. But you know there's a payoff, so you kind of go with it. It's Star Trek, you know there is. But to double down on what you said with they should have made a repository. They said we've met them 7 times in 100 years. I believe that was roughly what they said.
Yep, that's exactly what they said.
Excellent. Each time they've had the same non-chat, but each time there's new dialogue coming in with added context. So Data and Troy, and I was expecting them throughout to go through old logs, when each of those would have also tried to crack it, use their information. Like, the fact that they go in just as blind as the 7 previous people, either so the 7 previous people did not give 2 shits, didn't try, or Data didn't try.
It.
Yeah, so it feels very kind of ridiculous for them to be so blank when they have 7 times. Like, even in Insurrection, there's literally a scene where Picard says, Troy and become experts. We go see them become experts. They read en route. Why has no one read en route apart from the? So it feels they're doing a lot to make us buy the fact they don't know anything, and it's very unbelievable that they don't know anything.
This episode would have been better with a guest star of some sort who is brought to the Enterprise via another ship, dropped off because he's been studying the 7 encounters over the years, has all the different framework, and helps them on the ship figure out what's going on during the course of the episode. I think that would have made a lot more sense, and would have perhaps made Data not look like an idiot, because Data doesn't come off well in this episode, unfortunately. So that would have worked a lot better, I think.
The big issue with this episode is that the B plot is everything on the ship, and none of it matters. Everything they say on the ship, we learn with Picard on the planet.
Yeah.
It's just they're just biding time, and I mean it makes sense what they do, but it's just that there's nothing meaty on the ship besides the new shuttle, and so it does just feel like we're turning the wheels. Which I mean, it's like you always say, and we always say, it's nice to see the procedural, which is nice, but it could have been much better content. It's as you said, you forgot it. So yeah, that would have been such a nice touch, or even. If that guy had been like 50 years old or 80, like he was from the last encounter, and he's like, oh my god, they've got another dialect. Like he's prepared. He's like, I know 500 sayings, I'm ready. And then the guy's like a different dialect. And he's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like that would imagine the payoff of that. He's like proud on the bridge saying, la 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 la, and it's like, it's like that was the old language. Like, how cool that have been, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that would have helped for sure. Yeah. Anywho, they both, the alien captain and Picard get beamed down. And again, it's like, block the transport, too late. Shit. You think I guess they wouldn't have the shields up.
Yeah, they would.
Don't want to appear aggressive. No.
Yeah, no, those shields are weapons. I would be shocked if they didn't have shields. But I kind of like that moment because it tells us they're so powerful to beam through our shields. I mean, low-powered shields wouldn't be at full strength. But I mean, at least they got deflectors up. You always have deflectors up. But I kind of like that power play. Like at the end as well. Remember at the end that he beams out the book. Their shields.
It is. The shields are up because the line is block their transport over the shield.
Yeah. And
then extend the shields to maximum range.
Yeah, and later they beam the book out. Their shields are up. They think it's been a fuck. Well, no, their shields are down there. Doesn't matter. But in this one, certainly their shields are up. But I like that. It's like such an abrupt, and it almost feels a Borg moment. But the fact that both at the same time in that CG shot is great. It's a very integrated moment. Although I love the beaming process is so quick for Riker to try and stop it once it's already finished is a bit of a redundant thing. Like I love his you're past that stage.
He's got to earn his paycheck. He doesn't want to get fired when the captain gets back. I said the thing. It doesn't matter if you were here or not.
I did steps 1, 2, and 3, despite we're already on step 4. But you know what I mean? It's like he's already down there, focused on getting him back. You can't stop it. You know?
Yeah.
He's already happy. Yeah, I just found that a little bit funny.
Garth Rooney, €5. Drunkyards, when the walls fell, their eyes red and face green.
Pretty much.
You gotta have a drink for that one, Commander. I'm waiting.
Drinking when the super chat comes.
So yeah, then he runs into the captain down on the planet. He's got funky thumbs.
Yes, they never focus on it except that it's so quick, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like the girl from Pen Pals. With the long baby finger.
I will admit that the Picard's costume looks better on the planet because of the color contrast. It suits the outside better than the inside with the artificial lighting. And I love a lot there in the middle where he's walking through the greenery and it just pops. That's very effective imagery for what is actually outside, which is nice.
All right. So they have an ionized scattering field in the upper ionosphere of the planet, so they can't beam through. Blah blah blah. And by the way, the Temerian captain is played by Paul Winfield, who is the captain of the Reliant in Star Trek II, Captain Terrell. So,
and he does do good here. I just wish he had more lines, because you can only say the same line so many times, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's serves it well. Serves the weirdness well. He commits, which is good.
Yeah. Olivia Julius, $5. Puggy when the bowl is empty.
Oh no.
All right, so the Worf.
Oh, and the Brett says one thing I like about this is if you use it as an analogy to language barriers rather than take it literally. Yes, I would agree.
Yes.
On that one, I'll buy you in that.
Worf thinks it's a contest of superiority to see who will win in battle, which captain, which makes perfect sense. Kind of like you got the arena vibe, the TOS arena vibe of the captain versus
very
captain.
arena vibe. Very arena vibe.
Yeah.
It must be intentional. I would think.
It would have been cool if they could see what was going on, like in arena, like the Temerians were broadcasting to their.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although these guys aren't experts, so when he's got two knives, the Temerian captain can't be thinking this is a peaceful thing. Like, he doesn't present the first scene in a way that will allow Picard through body language to assume it was positive. I wish there was more. Like, he's not trying as hard as he should do. Like, he could put it on the ground and point. So he
should have sheathed his, and then handed Picard, or tossed Picard his, and then kind of went down on a knee or something.
Yes, exactly. No, 100%. I know we have to create drama, but his body language is not in any way aggressive, which Picard also doesn't pick up on. So it's weird, they're not sure, which also, again, makes sense to the confusion, but I wish we sped through this a little bit. It could be much more efficient to get more story, but everything's a bit drawn out. But again, that's the confusion nature of it's annoying. It works.
It's the simplicity of this episode.
Yes.
It could have literally been 20 minutes. This could have been like
a short
fan film.
A Trek short!
Yeah.
Indiegogo now! If you want to see Darmok and Tanagra 2, the Darmokning.
The Darmokning. Anyway, yeah, but it was kind of stretched out. So, and they had to fill it with, unfortunately, a lot of repetitive things. So, Olivia Julius, $5. Samuel, when the trouble hair leaves his hair. Should that be head? When this troubled hair leaves his head.
Super chat when the autocorrect fails, or succeeds in this case.
Yeah, but he's.
Well, Area 51 says the Temerians had a cameraman down there. He got eaten.
So yeah, he tosses him the knife. Picard's like, "I won't fight you," and tosses it back. It's like, ugh. And the guy just walks away all disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah.
Which gives a wonderful vibe of Picard's like, oh, is that it?
It's funny with the way he turns and looks back, and then it's like that old Bigfoot film, the Bigfoot walking. I forget what it's called, but yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of. I'm like, oh.
I mean, it does a good job in not confusing you so much as keeping you off guard, because you are like,
yeah,
is this a reader? What is this?
Oh, Olivia Julius, $5. Samuel, when the tribble leaves his head. There you go.
Boom. And one super chat away from finishing already. Done.
Shit. I'm like glass and a half in now, so almost half a bottle. So
what do you think of the second in command actor and performance?
I didn't have any issues with him. Got a little aggressive at one point, but I mean, he's doing what his captain wanted, even though he didn't agree with it. His captain wanted to do this, and he's like, no, there's another option. And the captain's like, no, shut the fuck up.
Although it wouldn't be great to know what the other option was.
Well, I could go back and tell you what it was, but it doesn't necessarily mean we'll understand it.
Well, that's what I mean.
It could have been. Yeah.
What, Stuart?
Oh, don't tell me I got cut off there. That was funny.
It would have been funny if I could hear it.
Okay, what is the last thing you heard then?
It could be
that he beams over naked, starts dancing and having a party because they want to initiate communication. So, I mean, it could be anything. There's different approaches to making friends.
Shaka when the wall helicopters.
Shaka. Well, we don't. Dathon when the dick swung. Kenju 22, $5. If that is that the prototype the S9 bridge by chance? Interesting. I mean,
I don't know what you mean.
Because I wondered that the red thing in the middle, I think they've reused a few times.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was trying to place where I knew it from, but I do like that there's screens that there's actually people behind.
Yes.
Very, very Discovery-esque.
And I feel like just shoved stuff in front of their one of their sound stages and put a camera, but it's fine. Yeah, I got very Klingon vibes from the second command. And I actually thought he was too thin. As weird as that sounds, the fact the captain's so big and that he feels like a stick figure, I thought was an odd. Just node to me. Like he's And but boy, Riker, not a diplomat. It's like, you understand, they literally can't understand anything you're saying. He doesn't seem to understand that at any point. I know it's hard to understand, but...
He just yells and gets frustrated. It's like, did you learn nothing by being first officer for 5 years on this ship? You want to be a captain one day? Goddamn.
Well, no, he doesn't. He's turned down 5 times.
He just knows he's not ready. I just get mad all the time. I just want to kill things.
He needs his own... whatever the planet was called.
Jarzia, $2, captain when his internet fails. Yes. Yeah, this is where the alien captain or first officer gets a little aggressive. Chenza at court. It's like, relax. Whoa. But yeah, there's no way to communicate them without further study, and so anyway,
Worf should have had for seven instants.
Yes. So they decide to put a security detail together and take a shuttle down. He says, preventing beaming is a lot different than firing on a shuttle, and I'm willing to bet, I'm a gambling man, that they're not going to go that.
I'll bet my next command offer on it. And I don't mind his logic. It does feel like he's kind of throwing his lives away, of his team away if he's wrong. He's so blasé. But there is some logic, but we never get that tactical analysis of the ship saying this ship matches us. That would have been important, because if they're weak as hell, even if they do fire, they're starting a war themselves that they probably can't win. We get that later on, but yeah, it's quite he's very assertive, even though maybe think of Plan C first.
Yeah. So next is on the planet, the alien, the Tamarian captain has a fire going. Mm-hmm. Picard's trying to light one and fails, and it's Shaka when the walls fell. Failure. And Picard kind of clues in here a little bit in a second. First of all, he says, what are you going to stab me in my sleep unless I freeze to death first? And then says, what does he say here? Picard of the Federation, of the Starship Enterprise, of Earth. Like he's trying, but the guy's just kind of frustrated with him. So, I mean, at least there's that effort put in.
Well, but he is just saying, I am Samuel. I'm in China. I came on a plane. And again, none of these words mean anything. He's not very Picardy yet. He's still acting a bit like a nincompoop. And I like the fact that he can't do the fire, but again, feels a bit lackluster for this character. But when is he able to set a fire for himself? I like he's rusty this week. He was so braggy in the first scene. He is not that good at the thing he thinks he's good at. But I mean, I was very intrigued. He had to follow the Tamarian captain, even though he thinks the guy wants to battle him. Actively stay within earshot and eyeshot.
He didn't follow him. The Tamarian captain probably just walked like 20 feet away and like started getting ready for the night. And Picard's just standing there going,
I got the vibe he like went on a 10-mile walk.
I never got that vibe at all.
But I think either one's a possibility. But I found it odd that he stayed close to him, given the risk. Like, it's just such an abstract. He walks away and then, oh no, they're still together. I just found that an odd edit. Especially if he thinks he's a danger. Because the episode knows he's not a danger, so we don't have to treat him like a danger, even though he could be. So it's just an odd cut, that one.
Mm. Yeah, you can tell by the rocks and stuff that they're in the exact same spots. So that's why I just like they've just been sticking around.
I could not tell.
Then Dathan does a little ritual, puts his little things on rocks around his, and goes to go to sleep, and then realizes that Picard's cold, so he tosses him fire, which is a nice little gesture. Picard starts to catch on a little bit here. Temba, his arms wide. Does that mean give? Or does that mean fire? That's the first thing he says.
Yeah.
And Temba honestly sounds a lot like timber. So I'm like, really? Does that mean wood? Does that mean fire? What does that mean?
I thought he said timber. I'll be honest. I was like, timber! Wood! We've got it! Yeah. I mean, hey, beast in both languages. Just saying, they can have timber.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
What do you think?
Kenju, what's that?
What do you think of the scene?
I think it's good. It starts to establish that the guy's not really there to see him any harm. The fact that he does offer him the camp of the fire is nice. I wish you would have invited him over though. Like,
I was waiting for that. I'll be honest.
Come sit with me.
Yep.
I'll stick the knives in the ground right here.
Yep.
Walk away from them. Come. Like, there's easier ways to establish communication than this guy is presenting. He doesn't come off as super friendly, really. I'd be on my guard as well. But there's ways, like I said, just stick the knives in the ground and walk. Or whatever.
Like, honestly, in other shows, it's always us talking to the savages, or the aliens that can't speak. And one of the conventions, we offer them food. In Stargate, in several episodes, they have these mostly ration bars, and they eat a bit. Give it to the person, they eat it. Oh, this is it. So I was kind of waiting for the Temerian, because we in this situation feel less advanced almost in a sense. We're the ones on the back foot. So for him to pull out a ration pod, it's like a green substance. He eats it and offers it to Picard, and they share over this green like that. But beyond that side of the coin, I thought it would have been really refreshing. As my campfire and my food, we are bonding. This is okay. That would have been better, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd agree with that. You can go to more extremes with that as well. Like, take a spear or a knife or something and throw it in Picard's direction, and actually hits like an animal behind Picard, and then he takes it and roasts it over the fire, and then offers him some.
Also,
perfect. It gets that. It gets that idea.
Yep.
Of maybe he's attacking Picard. Commercial break, and then you see the dead animal. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they did back then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could do something like that as well.
But like we said, we have to kind of drag it on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenju22 puts in $5. The alien first officer was played by the same guy who played as Kentor in the Ensigns of Command. TNG 3rd season, 2nd episode.
Which we did watch,
We hated the title because it has nothing to do with anything. It was a very misleading title. I can't remember what it's about, though, now.
And Ensigns of Command is the Shellyak. Sorry, who was in that? The Shellyak?
Played as Kentor. Kentor.
That's not...
Probably the Shellyak.
Well, that's a different guy. That's a younger guy. That's not the same guy that played the guy in TNG. That's not the same actor. That's played by Richard Allen, who's also another black guy, but not the same guy that was in Star Trek 2. No, he's the first officer.
First officer, not the captain.
Oh, I heard captain. Sorry. There you go. I missed one thing. It's quite an important piece of information. Sorry.
Yes. Eugene, 250 rubles. This is Temerian language after Universal Translator has been applied.
That's what I'm in. Confusing.
Yeah. Jeff Jacobs, $2.
The thing is, though, if it's being applied, it is successfully translating things, but it's like it understands all the words fully.
Yes. Because you hear walls, you hear river, you hear winter.
Yeah. But it has no context, because normally you have to feed in something. And that might be what they did in the previous, but like even with that, you would think you could tune it to convert that into a simple phrasage. Because every saying, they use the same saying many times. It has a set contextual meaning, God, yeah, without that, obviously, it's even worse. But it's But I mean, you would think the English translator would have access to trillions of words. Like it would have access to every Klingon word, So of course it's going to have these random words like Darmok. But what's that word in? But I guess everything's universally translated, so. Like, do you care?
It's proper place or name. It's proper name or place. So, like, certain things can't be translated.
Yeah. Okay.
Except for Kapla, which means victory, which until the universal translator decides not to translate to say victory, and it just says Kapla.
Nice.
But yeah, Jeff Jacobs, $2, 50 likes. Jeff's wallet pulled open. Oh, let's gotta drink that one. We're at 88 likes now with 85 people watching. Guys, let's get another 12 likes to get to 100 likes. would be great. So they launched the shuttle, and again, yeah, you get the nice shuttle shot. You get actually it's a nice set shot with the Enterprise, the Temerian ship in the background, and the shuttle. Lots going on. So, and again, Riker's first officer's log says he's betting that the Temerians are not going to fire on the shuttle, but they of course do. A charged particle beam. Where is it here?
Yeah, I did quite like the establishing turn. It's a nice way of showing the shuttle for the first time. And I having now built this in 3D, I know everything about the inside of the shuttle. It's kind of fun to now see it.
Mm-hmm.
But someone who's also trying to light it. If you look at a shuttle, like these sorts of shuttles, there's no lights in the cockpit. So they have to be lit from the outside. That's why they're always dark. And so trying to light a fan film when you haven't got lights sucks because things should be lit. Whereas look at a runabout, it's also a bit more constrained. But it really is just that top bit is just felt. Like it's just a flat nothing. So I have to fake lights because... So they're very dark. They should be, but it's, it's a weird set to work in.
But the Temerians do fire at it, hit the starboard nacelle, and it's a good impact.
Yeah.
Although
in the trailer, which on the Blu-ray, as it's a shuttle, the shuttle actually does a backflip roll. Like it looks like it's really stupid looking, and this one just hits it, but it's like oh. I had no idea what happened. It was very strange. It's like this was in the episode. Goodness, the hell is this? Yeah.
Well, starboard thrusters are offline, so Worf says he can land, but he won't be able to take off again. And Riker's like, don't even bother with that. Just get your ass back to the ship. And Worf's kind of conflicted for a second, like, I got to go help the captain, but at the same time, okay, fine. So I do kind of like that he kind of has the hesitation of, my job is to protect the captain. I'm security. He's down there with an enemy captain.
Potentially enemy. We still don't know. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Although I found it odd, it attacked the nacelle, but the nacelles are the warp drive units, not the impulse units. So I don't know why its thrusters are out. There are thrusters on the main hull. And impulse. I didn't... maybe it couldn't land because the thing's damaged. You should still be able to land and maneuver without the warp nacelle. But that's them misunderstanding how their shuttle works a little bit. It's not all in the nacelle; it's warp nacelle.
It was a charged plasma thing, so it could just be it overloaded the systems on that side of the ship.
See, that's good. I love that. That's a nice touch. They don't say that, but I love that.
No, yeah.
Good time.
Okay, so they have Geordi working on a thing to transport the captain up, but it's going to take more than a day to get it all figured out. Worf saying he's got confidence in the captain that he'll be able to win, and Counter Troy's like, you're still assuming that's a contest. It's not necessarily the case.
But Diana, have you not seen Arena?
Sure, let's put it on. We'll sit down in the conference room and watch. You can give us some idea. Metrons. It's the Metrons' fault. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, they basically decide to end the stalemate by... What else is he saying here? There's got to be a way to get through the field. Oh yeah, this is where Data's like a further study of communicating with them, because we have a time limit on the field. Geordi says it's going to be another day or so before they can get through the scattering field, and Riker basically tells Data and Diana to go figure out the language so they can at least communicate with these people. And they want it by 0900 hours. So we don't know what time it is. It's probably late at night. It's like midnight or something. He wants it by the morning. Could be even later. Who knows? I just wish I knew a sense of time, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a wonderful scene. It's that classic scene where, sir, we can't do that in the amount of time. Yeah, do it anyway. Okay.
Later that happens too, when he's done in engineering. I'm like, I'd hate to be an engineer. I'll need 2 hours. You have 2 minutes.
All my buffer time. God damn it! I 3 rounds of poker planned, and god damn it. But it is Riker was extremely second in command this week. That is his entire role. And he's so, like, purposely focused, but everything feels somewhat dull at the same time. Nothing he does means very much, really. And he's rushing it. Like, he feels disconnected from the crew. He expects the undoable, which all fails, and he's not doing any work himself. The classic captaining is like, you do all the work, get back to me. What is he going to do then? You know what I mean? It has a very...
He's going to stress about it and have to fill out the paperwork. So...
Oh no, that was Riker's job. Oh no! Who's the new Riker if he's the captain? But it's a weird... Yeah, well, yeah. Well, he's already done that, hasn't he? Yeah, bit weird.
But then Picard wakes up. The Temerian captain is gone. He goes over to the campsite, sees little things on the stone, some kind of ceremonial importance probably, and then finds the captain's log, which is a neat little book.
Although you didn't see him beam down with it, so I guess it's just part of his uniform.
Well, he has a sash on. It could have been tucked under the sash.
But you know what I mean? It's like props they don't have appear. It's like, okay, fine.
Yeah, fine.
But I like the visuals and walking through the grass, like the red again pops. It's nice. They take their time and it has a nice vibe to it.
Then we get Data and Troy going over the footage again.
Groan.
Darmok and Tanagra, Shaka, Mirab, his sails unfurled. So the first officer's like, let's just forget this and get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, no, Darmok. And then they freeze it and they start talking about it. And this is where she says, she says the captain proposed something the first officer didn't like. And then she goes into computer, search for the term Darmok in all linguistic databases for this sector. So just for this sector, she says. And then every other time this happens in Star Trek ever, the computer's like 147 entries found. This time, no, it just decides to start listing them. So the 7th Dynasty Emperor, Mytho-Historical Hunter. So number 2 was the winner, by the way. A colony, and then a frozen dessert. And she's like, stop. How many are there? 47. Since when has the computer ever done that? Just started listing things. It'll say there's 147 results found or something. So, script writing, guys. Learn it.
But Troy gets lines.
Yes, she does.
And she's not bad. She's just reading a bad script.
Yeah. I love how they're like, we've run into so many alien species I can't even remember. And Data's like, I've run into 1,754 non-human races during my tenure in Starfleet. And she's like, we can't even say hello to these people.
To me, 1,700 sounds a little bit large. Of all the numbers, what was he doing? You don't meet that many on a starship. You don't.
Well, there's probably about 30 species serving on the starship, just alone.
Sure.
Don't know how many others he would have met in the academy.
Well, I'm guessing 500 or 600. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, I guess if you walked around Earth, just if you go to the alien district, fine, sure. But I know he's been in the career for 30 years. But you serve on starships where in a year you might meet a few races. You're not meeting. Well, I guess how many per year? So 35 years, 1,700. And still quite a few a year. I mean, that might be like one a day. And it's like, you didn't meet one a day. So I just thought that was... Because I remember I was saying, and then Star Trek Picard happened to say there's only, 400 member worlds. And I was like, there must be, 2,000. And they were like, there's only 600. And I was like, really? Like, there's less than you think. And so to me, that many feels like a lot. Surprising amount. But yeah, I'm also surprised that Data didn't just download everything about them to his brain and do the cross-reference. Like, he would be also that quick.
That's what comes next, because he replays the thing. They say Darmok and Tanagra. So he's like, freeze. And he's like, computer search for the term Tanagra. This is where I would have been like, cross-reference all the words in this thing that I'm listening to with the database. Find out all the connections. And he's like, she suggests it. She's like, maybe we should just cross-reference the entire previous search index. And the computer's like, okay, a match has been found. We found out it's a mythological hunter and an island. And Data has a surprised look on his face.
He really does. Really?
He looks dumb in this episode. Like, it's the first. I even said that to Sylvia when I was watching it earlier. I'm like, Data would be on top of this in every other episode. It would have been his idea. He would have had everything downloaded and just cross-referenced and have a whole list to spew off.
Well, I mean, him and Picard are massively nerfed this week. Seriously, I mean, very much so. And not just that, but you would assume, I would personally, if I was there, I would say, computer, find every word said, find a reference to them in the same language. Boom, 1, Temerian, oh wait. You know,
Go figure, right?
Yeah, like there's obviously connections, and the computer can find out via context what these things mean roughly. Like that's what the translator does. It takes context.
That's the other thing that bugs me too, is they run into these people 7 times over the course of 100 years, likely don't know where their homeworld is. So why the hell does the computer have a reference for these words?
Now see, that's the last thing I was going to mention. They don't say it's from the planet they're from. They say a random planet. So why is the Temerians' mythology on another planet that's separate? Because if that was a Temerian planet, then they would be like, well, that's a Temerian planet, in which case just search that goddamn archive. Have you been there?
I don't think it's from another planet. I think it's from their mythology, so like their ancient history.
But they say, read it back. They say it's from a specific planet.
But that could be the Temerians' home planet.
In which case they have data from their home planet and they have stories. In which case, why are they surprised then that the 2 references come from their home planet? Like, you know what I mean? They are surprised that it's the only place.
Well, it says an island on the continent of Chantal 3. It doesn't say a planet.
Well, yeah, Chantal 3. Chantal 3 is not Temeria, but I mean, you know, Chantal 3.
Hold on, let's see where the mythological hunter's from, or if it even says. I don't think it does say.
But it's not their home world, otherwise they would say that.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
But they have knowledge about them, in which case they should have just said.
See, a mytho-historical hunter on Chantal 3, which is the island. So somewhere.
Chantal 3 was the island. I thought Tanagra was the island.
No, Chantal 3 is the island. Chantal 3. So that says a mythological hunter from Chantal 3, and then when we go to the next cross-referencing.
But the story is Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra. Tanagra is the island. That's the story.
No.
What's Tanagra then?
Hold on.
This is the only story of the entire thing. We should know it.
Tanagra, it says, is an island continent on Chantal 3. So Chantal 3, that would be the planet.
Yeah. Which means they're not from Chantal. I mean, they could be, but that would be odd. Which means why are they
using different mythologies in their...
See, that's what I thought going in. I was like, this is confusing. In which case, if it's not their mythology, they're just using it as a broader language. In which case, you've got part of... Why don't you look at all Chantal 3's... Like, then you can cross-reference. Like, it doesn't... It's weird. What do you guys think?
Okay. Sean Corpier, $5. Data and the data walls failed.
Oh, also I'm out. I need to go get a second one.
Okay, well, hold on.
He goes, you tell us about the thingy thing. Oh.
What?
No. Booze.
Thingy thing. Oh, the captain's log. Yeah, he's looking at the captain's log. But we'll get to that in a second when he comes back. Talmari, her cleavage unfettered. Yes. Chantal 3 is maybe in Temerian space. Sure. So what are the rules for drinking? It's pinned. If you super chat a metaphor like something like Captain and Commander at Trekyards when the lights spiked, we take a drink. Or something from the episode as well. Hello. So Eugene, 250 rubles. I'll give writers a pass on that. They never used Google, and I doubt they ever thought people in the future will be able to communicate in PNG images. Surprise Pikachu face. Basically, I can have whole conversations with GIFs.
Yeah.
I mean, the best ones are Han Solo and anything from the movie Tombstone. You can have a whole conversation, every reaction you need, all from those.
But I mean, it's a conversation, but it's not an informative conversation. There's no nuance necessarily.
There's a lot of nuance. You get the person's sense of humor. You get their what they're interested in as far as the references go. Come on, there's a lot you can glean from people's use of animated GIFs. Anyway, Kenju 22, $5. Every race and nation on Earth has myths and dragons, despite their myths predating those nations ever interacting. Myth of dragons. Yeah, but that's based on discovering dinosaur bones, or there's a lot of shared stories throughout our history, like a flood that encompassed the world in different.
Well, and also remember, traders went everywhere. Like these stories migrate, and then you forget where it came from first.
Yeah.
All it takes is
all it takes is one person to hear a story because they were bored around a campfire, meeting another trader. He goes, tells that story. Things get changed, but the main premise is the same. So you don't know where the crossover happened.
Yeah, and even if that is what you're saying, Kenji, then you're saying that both the Temerians and this other planet have the exact same mythology. Okay. What, they'd co-design mythology?
Well, Shanta 3 could be, like somebody mentioned this earlier, could be a planet in in their system. Could be more than one inhabited planet as well.
Then maybe Chantilly 1 is their planet, which is absolutely fine. But then if they've been there to know this reference, they have more information. They could do a full translation because they have stuff. It doesn't work. They've missed a T somewhere. It implies they're taking mythology from other planets, which is weird.
Which is not helpful.
It's not helpful.
Be the way a language would develop.
Because I was honestly waiting for them to these guys to come up with a speech, and be like, "Right, we're ready." Picard walks in, does it himself. It's like, oh, like I was waiting for that moment where they've got a Chantilly 3-based speech. They're really happy, and it's.
Well, they didn't have one, but Picard came in and had a lot of references to lay down, and really impressed the first officer. So.
But I'm saying I wish that had been a scene where they were ready to give something because they've got something. Reverse engineered something. Yeah.
Sergeant Montgomery, $3. Tanagra at Cinco de Mayo with wine bottles open. Yeah, it is Cinco de Mayo today.
Yes. Cool.
So yeah.
They
Picard's looking through the captain's log.
That's a summary.
Some really cool writing in there. Yeah. The guy comes running up. He's like, "I don't give a shit about my goddamn captain's log," because Picard's like, "I'm sorry, I just wanted to look at it." And he's like handing him the knife. You see the rocks falling, and Picard's like, "Yeah, I think that might be a good idea." So he's kind of catching on. And you're right. This uniform, I don't like the way it fits at where it gets tucked in. It's just a little bit baggy. I do like the collar though.
Well, it reminisces of later uniforms, which is why it fits inside better. Or it just feels like a woven jumper. Like it feels like my grandma's sweater. Like I've seen this fabric, and I've seen, it's not very Star Trek-y in this broad context. It's its own weird sub thing, which is obviously it is. That's the whole point. But it feels like a version of 1.0. They rushed to finish it for the episode rather than like doing several passes. Hence the baggy, which is fine. Just it's not refined enough. And then we get Predator. Basically.
Yeah. They detect a life form approaching the captain's position. And then they ask Geordi, they're like, "Is that transporter ready yet?" And this is great because we see Leffler.
Which I've never caught on, which is great. She's there. Yeah.
This is the only other episode she's in, I think.
And they do close-ups on her to imply she is important, which I appreciate because she is important.
Exactly. And she's...
I don't know why she's there.
As well.
Yes, she is. I don't know why she's in the episode, but cool.
So they're trying to set up a resonance frequency. They're just figuring that out, and Geordi's like, "I got like another 2 minutes. We can do this. We'll try to get him out of there." But the problem is, if they try it and it doesn't work, they just tip their hand at the Temerians as to what they're doing.
Yep.
But they take the gamble anyway.
And I'm torn on this. I like all the acting because if you're a captain, there's if you've got it's the all or nothing. If they die anyway, if there's even a chance, who's to say we have 3 more hours to wait? But we as the audience know it's going to fail, and Geordi is rarely like, this isn't going to work. And you can tell his vibe is, this isn't going to work. You can sense that. I like that his performance. He's normally very confident. But going from 2 hours to 2 minutes means it's not going to work. Like, so I really like the weirdness of the performance. Like, it fits in well.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to have to
Paul in it is Ashley Judd playing Leffler, yes.
Yes, I'm gonna go in and look at the who directed this, because it's just differently directed. So just keep going. Sorry. Say.
Yeah. But you're right. Predator shows up.
Yes.
Which, I mean, they've been waiting at this planet, calling the Federation. So did they know that this was here? The captain must have known this was here.
Mm-hmm.
The first officer, I don't think did necessarily, because when he said, you know, Darmok and Gelada Tanagra, the first officer was like, no, I don't want to do that because, you know, you might die. So I don't know if he basically knew the plan beforehand. But anyway.
Well, the real question is this a creature or an alien with stealth technology?
That's you never. I always got a sense it was just a creature, some kind of predator on the planet.
Pretty advanced, because it can also seemingly teleport. Like in the Vegative, it moves faster than we can see or hear it, because it just like it goes places.
It seems almost trans-dimensional.
Oh, I could buy that. I could buy that. That's interesting, because I mean the way it has a white outline as it's like phasing. No, I like that. That's nice actually. Yeah, although one thing I was surprised about. Oh no, we're not there. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it's a pretty fierce-looking creature. It looks almost like a Triceratops.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't want to say Triceratops because they have the 3 horns. There's another dinosaur that looks a lot more
definitely dinosaur
like
head.
That. Anyway, at the worst possible time, they decide to pull him out. Well, actually, before that, they have the conversation about Lashmir and his army. You know, fist open, fist closed. And Picard's like, so the guy pushes him away, and Picard's like, moves right back to beside him. So, is this what happened? Is it something like this happened before? Is that what you're talking about? It's like, dude, just anyway. Then he gets the point, but yeah, beams out at the worst possible second when the other captain's getting his ass kicked.
Like,
and
seriously.
it reminded me of Star Trek 6. It's like, God, he was just about to explain the whole thing. Do you want to go back? Absolutely not.
Slightly less funny, but yeah, for sure. And I find this a little bit odd so we know more as an audience, but Picard knows very little. And for all he knows, this will be one big like game trap. You know, we saw when he was being trapped by those 2 aliens that are all in pairs, and he's with 4 people. Like he figures out the mystery, right? But he actually attacks this alien that he knows nothing about. Like, that's not very like Picard to actually take a weapon and stab a completely unknown creature. That felt kind of like the director kind of skipped one beat. Like, I know it roars, but is that enough to say it's a villain, we should kill it?
I think the reactions of the other captain and all the things leading up to it have brought him to that conclusion that this is something that is the point of us being here.
But it's Captain Picard, though, like killing a I don't know anything about it creature. That feels so un-Starfleet.
You don't want to sit there and start talking to it like, I just wanted to get to know you. We're the Federation.
But he doesn't even try anything. You know, it is very direct to, we're going to kill it with knives. Yeah, I wish one other thing, you know? It's just very direct, very simple. Feels more like TOS, you know? I don't know, it's just a bit un-Picardian, but again, he's unlike Picard a lot this episode, so who's to say? You know, he's having a weird day. But yeah, the guy goes to town on the dude. Pretty vicious, I quite like the bzz, bzz, bzz. And there's like an energy burst, so yeah, I'm guessing, I would say he's probably transdimensional. And boy, there's a frame of him in focus. Oi, that's a thing. Jeez.
And Red Letter Media has that mask. And they throw it on the ground and jump on it and shit. It's so fun. It's so frustrating. To do a one-off prop like that, but whatever.
Which episode did they do that on?
One of their TNG.
I never finished the second one. That's why.
I think it might be the second one. Go back and watch it. I don't know if you'll be mad about it, but these are the same guys that put a whole bunch of vintage Star Wars figures in an aquarium and then put like acetone in it, so they just melt.
Ones, though.
No, it's all of them.
Right,
may not be in mint condition, but still. Anyway, nobody's really ever gone. Really gone. Anyway, they frustrate me sometimes. I love them, but they frustrate me.
Yes. Speaking of, You got the Kirk costume rip. Clearly a reference. Yes. Clearly. It's good.
They just didn't want to wreck the regular uniform, so like it's gonna be a new one.
That is true.
And we didn't have time. This one doesn't fit very well. We can rip the shit out of this one. It's fine.
Love it. Yeah.
Because I've been going back and rewatching some of season 3, the first few episodes, how the uniforms change. They had the collar, but they had the double pleat, and there's the 2 stupid little pleats at the side, and then all of a sudden Picard's is normal, Riker's isn't. Next episode, Riker's is normal, Data's isn't. And then there's a progression of like 3 or 4 episodes where the uniforms are changing on everybody, even the fabric. So.
Oh yeah, too much budget. But guys, I did start my next cider, so let's have some vibes as to what you think, and I will drinky the drink. Make me Tanagra all over this place.
No Shaka when the walls fell. We don't want to fail.
Hands open. Hands
our
wide
sails
open.
Unfurled. We'll have to leave in like an hour or so. So
our lips unfurled. For the booze.
Bottles decorked. I don't know. I'm gonna give up.
When the Stewart fell in a drunken stupor.
So Riker's getting pissed because he's like, their sensors can tell exactly what's going on as well. Their captain's like dying. What is going on? And he gets pretty pissed off at them. Drop your particle field. And the guy's like, no.
Well, I will say contextually, once again, they have no information on the planet except sensors, which are often faked, often like there's you know what I mean? They're trusting their sensors a bit too much in this situation. I wish they were a bit more dubious. They don't even know what this life form situation is. What if that is a natural state for life form, etc., etc. You know, because if they're not reacting, they know something that they should say. Well, they know something we don't know. Maybe he's not dying. Maybe he's, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's their plan. They wouldn't let their own captain die. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Which is weird. They do, but
all to establish first contact. There are better first contact procedures, guys. Not that this is first contact, it's 7th contact, but still.
Well, no, it was 8th.
8th contact.
Yes. Yeah. It took 6 Cerritos, and now back to the Enterprise. That was the Enterprise B, and 7 Californias. But I quite like the fact the alien has white blood. Nice touch. Oh, probably the colour looks best on that skin tone. Which, considering makeup, good job. Good makeup, holds up well. Gives you sort of Denobulan vibes and kind of a familiar Enterprise feel, but it looks good. It's good.
Eric Martin, $2. Hey. Mirab, his sails unfurled. Drink.
Yes. Oh, there's a SpaceX launch right now.
He's always got in SpaceX launch.
That's funny.
To come back from commercial, we got a commander's log about the attempt to transport failed. My options are narrowing and my patience is all but gone. And then they go on to talk about the language and they use metaphors. Dr. Crusher's there for some reason. Romeo or Juliet on her balcony. Oh, does it mean romance? Does it though? I hear Juliet on our balcony, I think tragedy, because they both fucking end up dying. So again, it can be misinterpreted, but they know the words, they just don't understand the context. And this is where Data goes on to say, if we knew their stories, we'd be able to communicate with them. But considering the relations we have with them right now, it's very unlikely that we're going to get their database. It's like, that's the first thing I'd be doing as a Temerian, because nobody can understand me. Here's a packet of our stories. Boom. If you want to research it, go ahead. Because honestly, they'd be running into this everybody they ran into would have problems understanding them.
Unless they've been to Camarian 3 and know all the stories, whatever it was.
Right. Yeah.
No, I agree. I like the scene in general, but we've just learned this through learning it with Picard. So it's like, I wish the scene was earlier and let Picard like go straight into it more. I like Troy actually in this. But the fact they are so beaten by it, again, feels like this is Data. This is Data, and he couldn't... It literally stumped Data when you've got... Like, it doesn't feel right.
They could have done something with Data because it is metaphors and things, and he's not human, so he doesn't
Yes,
necessarily understand the use of metaphors or why they're used, or maybe that would have worked.
Well, that's a commitment though for later seasons when Data can't understand metaphors. It's like, oh, that's a big thing to nerf him with. But yeah, I mean, both. I mean, it doesn't work on both ways.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's also the scene where they talk about the scattering field and how it's located after the the engineering section of their ship, and it's heavily shielded. But if we use a concentrated beam and hit the subsystems around it, we could take it down maybe in like 2 or 3 hits. And it's like, oh, okay, do what you can. So there's a lot going on here.
I like the status quo, like the discussion, but what sort of arrogance is it to say this ship that is equally as powerful as us? I want a one-shot go through their shields. Are you joking? When is that ever the situation where you can have a one-shot disabling something? Riker, the hell are you smoking? Seriously. Like, shields down 80% is what happens, you twat. As in, like, twat. So it's written not understanding the context of a space fight. If their shields were down, fine. But I guarantee they're not, you know? But I like the idea of shooting around it, but if you can do that with everything, what's the point? Sir, the phaser emitters are too powerful. We'll shoot around them then. Yay, they're down.
That's the other thing I hate, because later they're still positioned the same. They fire at the side of the ship, even though it said in dialogue it's aft.
Yep.
Sure, hit the subsystems around it, but
nope.
The Enterprise should have done you should have seen a maneuver to get behind.
100%. 100%. Yeah, it's yeah, it's the classic left doesn't know what the right's doing.
Yeah, there should have been a discussion, maybe taking out the shield generator. First hit, second hit, take out the system. Because get the shields down.
That's good. That's smart. I like that.
Two-shot attack would be fine.
Yeah,
but
I dig that.
Yeah. Now we get the actual good scene at the fire where the guy's dying, and they talk about Darmok and Jalad. And he's like, "Tell me more." And you hear about Darmok on the ocean, and then they meet up at the island and they fight the beast together, and they leave together as friends, which is great. Don't want to go too deep into this because it's pretty simple. Then he tells them the story about King Gilgamesh and the bull that was bull from heaven that was killing all the men, and his friend, his wild man friend that ended up dying. Exact same story, and at the end, it's kind of touching how the Temerian captain dies as the story is finishing. Got the point across. They're now friends. These communications have been established, kind of thing. It's really touching and really well done, and wish there was more of this, conversations like this earlier on with more context to the actual story instead of the same line repeated. We get it, but stop. You have the ability to say more, as you do here. You talk about the beast, you talk about on the ocean, you talk about them coming together and leaving. Say that originally. Have a when you're handing him the knife, throw it down and say,
beast.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll get that.
It's frustrating beyond frustrating that this could have been handled a lot easier. Whenever I watch things like this where there's a misunderstanding, a lot of Shakespearean plays the same thing. If people actually just talk to each other for 5 seconds, the problem would be solved. Instead of exactly right. Instead of
can they wait? Can they?
No.
Stuart, we've still got problems from season 1 of Trekyards back in 2000 whatever that we haven't dealt with. We haven't talked about it. We could have talked about it the entire time. Goodness.
But you know what I mean? It's a simple solution. One conversation would solve a problem, but it's stretched out and just it's comedy of errors, essentially, not communicating with each other.
The problem is this is really the only truly good scene in the entire episode that actually stands above, because it's waiting to get to here. We get here, it's great. But this scene makes other scenes in the episode worse, because you're right. First campfire should have been saying stuff, and Picard's like, okay, I'm getting so much information, I can't process it, let me process it. This is everything.
And slowly come to the realization over the course of the episode, instead of after the other captain's almost dead.
Yep. Yeah, and it's good, and it's interesting to see, and I would have really loved it, because you kind of get the vague sense at least I did, the vague sense that, because it's a, brain power is relative, so someone might be a genius who can understand 21 languages, and they might only be the person to talk to maybe just one. So you kind of get the sense that Temerian understands contextually more of what the humans are saying than we are them. Yeah. Not necessarily all the wordage, but it's just like, oh, he can't get me, rather than, what is he saying as well? And so I would have loved, in the end, because Picard's give this long speech, which he knows very well, the guy will not get any of it. Like, he's not even trying to make it Temerian except that one line. So I wish he'd made it more Temerian. Gilgamesh fight in the castle. I wish he tried more. So he's just speaking Spanish to him. It doesn't mean anything. I wish at the end the guy had actually said in a vocalized English, Gilgamesh fought well at, like they both could do each other's languages. That I thought would have been a much stronger payoff.
Well, he does say Gilgamesh and kind of laughs at the name, and he says something else as well. But yeah.
But go that one step further. Show that is a two-way communication streak. Otherwise, he's just saying nonsense at him, except the context of a name. But again, a name without the story means nothing. He doesn't understand the story. He just understands there's a name. What does that mean? So I wish that, again, it works better in the 80s or 90s when it was made, because it would be like, oh, this is cool. But now it would have been written a lot cleverer, a lot more nuanced. And that's definitely a problem. But this is the best scene, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Totally agree.
And I honestly didn't think he was dying. I was very blown away when he's dead in the next scene, because he's just, ow, I'm hurt. Like,
but you can tell he dies because he's like...
But I just thought he fell asleep. I thought it was more like, oh, you told me stories a lullaby. Like, I love stories. Like, that, seriously, like, that made more sense to me than I'm the dead. So I was like, oh, he died? That's weird.
Well, I think that was all based on former dialogue from the Enterprise, like his life signs are erratic or whatever.
Sure. But I thought they could not know his metabolism because they're not humans.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Sean Carpe, $5. Mercatio on the ground laid means the decision made for you.
Mercutio? Shakespeare reference. Mercutio.
Yes. Not a band account, $2. How could Michael Burnham have handled this better? Well, she would have understood him right away. She's like, failure? I'm failing, okay.
Bitch, I'm not failing!
Yeah, pointed at herself.
It's called the Burnham. I shoot first and hit you. It's amazing. Yeah, that would have been easier. I mean, not to say the situation has to be more complicated, but I wish this scene had happened in the first campfire. And then this scene had been the role reversal, where, like I say, the Temerian had started to talk, like he understands enough of our language to be able to put a few words in, and that makes Picard happy.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. This should have been part of the first conversation at the original campfire, where they kind of established the fact that the Temerian captain is not there to kill Picard. Would have been nice.
Well, not just that, but the in it together would have worked better the first time, rather than just handing the knife and sort of the noise pulls them together. If he knows, because he even says "my friend" when he wakes up, which is contextually a little bit further than it should be in the story. But it's fine if you had this first, and then hands him a knife, and he's like, I accept this, and I trust you now because we are on this island together. So it's just frustrating it takes us this long. But this does, as I said, I watched it really fresh. You kind of get to the point of, huh? And this pulls us all the way back up to, okay, cool. And then it gets kind of abrupt near the end.
Yeah.
As we're about to get into.
Well, it's typical for TNG, abrupt at the end.
Oh, the one brief thing, so I was going through images. I wish to use more pictures, because, boy, pictures speak 1,000 words! That would have been great! Just sorry, I had a joke. Yeah.
That's okay. So, yeah, they say the Temerian's lifetimes are becoming imperceptible. He's probably dead. And he's like, Riker's like, well, if we know that, they know that. But I need those phasers now. And they're tracking the entity. It's coming towards them. And then, yes, the next scene is him. The Temerian's dead because he's got his arms crossed. Picard crosses his arms on his chest with the knife. I would have taken both knives personally, but whatever.
Stuart, there's no one layer of rocks on him. I guess he'll learn that trick unless he learns that trick later on.
He doesn't have time yet. He's going to do that later.
Stuart, it was nighttime.
Maybe he was dying all night. Maybe that wasn't the death. It was like, Jarzy at $2. Riker, his chair turned, his man spread. Great. That's good.
And Kendrew, great comment. They could have just got their hands on a flourishing computer database. That'd have been cool. Because can you imagine if the same story, but they're using human proverbs?
Yeah.
Like, we still don't know the context, because, like, they use them in a weird way, but that would have been really kind of fun. Like, they are really trying. But, you know, you still need to understand. Yeah.
So the creature's approaching Picard. Riker fires the phasers and disables their scattering field.
And it's a visceral, like, they do some pew pew.
Yeah, you got like electricity all over the ship, and yeah.
And obviously, to note, they've now reused some old clips of the Enterprise firing, whereas originally it was from the torpedo launcher, and they've fixed it in this version.
Yes.
Although, boy, the camera, like, have it be like it's such bad framing. Seriously, it's in the lower third. It's like just zoom that. Like, you scanned it in 4K, I'm sure, or at least 2K. Like, zoom it up a little bit. Come on. Terrible frame.
Yeah. Sean Corpe, $5. Riker, the joystick, he does take hold. LOL. That's good.
Wait. Are we talking about Insurrection?
Yes.
Or Insurrection? The bath scene.
We're talking about your erection.
My insurrection, yes. But it's actually quite a good like attack. It's just doing this.
I've had too much wine.
You have. It's great. But it's quite a good little battle thing. Although again, super easy. Barely the inconvenience of the shields go down. Wow. Phasers from the torpedo launchers are tight.
Anywho, it's great. It's not a band account, $5. An admiral he became means someone goes crazy or mutinous after promotion. An admiral he oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's a good one. Mira Thruni, €5. Ooh. I wonder how a language entirely told in metaphor is taught to their children. See, that's what I think. Every time I watch this episode, I think the whole concept of their language would not be a thing that would ever happen. Yes, I get talking amongst yourself shorthand. You could do it, but you would never have a language based just around that. There would be, shorthand, absolutely, for sure.
Well, because how do you relay all of the context? That's the point. The meaning is contextual. The meaning isn't inside. Like, if, Jalad at Grunas with hands clenched, it's still the guy.
Somebody has to take a shit really bad. They didn't make it to the bathroom.
A Temerian shit is well known to be the most potent of all. It has enough dark matter to power space travel. Get it?
Futurama.
Ah!
The hell's this? Nibbler. That's it. Nibbler. Yeah. Yeah, we got a shot of the alien thingy again. Very dinosaur-like.
Yeah, seriously.
I can't place the dinosaur that crest looks like, but there is one that looks exactly like that.
It's not a bad effect though. I'll give him credit for what it is. It's effective.
Yeah.
So, but it is very much the invisible monster trope because it's not important. It's I was almost expecting it to be a hologram, and it to be a part of the test. It doesn't need to be a real threat for the meaning to come through. Like, that's almost a more powerful payoff. Just saying.
I hated that the Temerian captain died. I really would have preferred that he not.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
Jarzia, $5. Also, I've been going through Stargate Atlantis recently, and the creature from this episode showed up in an episode called Epiphany.
Yes.
Practically identical. Really?
Yeah, wow. It's a better
Yeah.
monster, but it's simpler. Yeah.
I got to get into Atlantis yet. Finish SG1
Dude,
now.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be that's such a good show. And that one's actually a really interesting character study on Shepard.
Cool.
Yeah.
Styracosaurus, says Martin Devon. There you go. I don't know if that's correct or not, but thank you. Eugene.
Whoa, yeah, man.
rubles.
That's
Is it?
pointy. Yeah, wow. Oy.
Yeah, okay. I knew there was one that looks exactly like that crest, so.
Yeah.
First viewing. MB. Is that Michael Burnham? Going from season 1 to season 3. Second viewing, Michael Burnham going back to season 3 to season 1. This episode of Dear Captain Pike in season 2, 10 out of 10. The execution, JJ, who's directing, is overrated, 5 out of 10. I don't know if I understood any of that.
Am I too drunk to get that? That felt very dense and I didn't understand any of it.
I didn't understand any of it either. I don't know if MB stands for Michael Burnham, but we just talked about Michael Burnham a second ago, so maybe I'm going to have a drink because I need to get more drunk to understand, maybe?
Alcohol solves the problem.
It's coded because he's drunk. And we need to get that level of drunk specifically and understand his metaphor. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But would we need Russian booze?
I don't think he's necessarily Russian, honestly, Eugene. I don't think you're Russian.
And he's in rubles.
I know, but he could be using a VPN.
Are you?
I think he is. I don't think he's Russian.
Oh, goodness.
He speaks too good of English. Anyway.
So do you, though. You're Canadian.
What the fuck does that mean? We invented English, bitch. Oh,
he has a lot.
This is a fun vibe. I'm just at that right kind of drunk right now.
Yes.
Fleetpaw Swiftback, $5. Fleetpaw, late to the live. Fleetpaw, when the live was live. Stuart and Samuel on YouTube, drunk but still alive. It's a lot of rhyming.
On Tanagra. At Tanagra. In Tanagra.
You almost made me spit my wine all over my monitors. Don't do that. I did that once. I have a coffee when I'm doing like shit in the morning on my computer here. Took a drink and just had to cough for some reason. Coffee all over my monitors. I was not happy.
Oops.
Yeah. Anyway, so they get Picard on board, and Riker's like, "Shields up. Let's blow the ship."
No. Shields up!
Yes. But before they do, they get hit in the nacelle and the strut, the starboard side, and that just they're screwed. They can't get out of there. So,
I mean, their shields are down. Like they take out his forward shields instantly, and their side shields down to like 42%. They are like, wow. It's like Borg. Is that no? Actually, it's more than Borg, because Borg had energy dispersal thing that took like 7 hits. So actually stronger than Borg in the abstract.
And Eugene's like, yes, MB equals Michael Burnham. Their eyes are open. Our eyes are uncovered.
Yes.
Anyway. Starboard shields holding at 52%. Forward shields are gone.
But stop facing them then.
Yeah, move your ship. It's Starship Combat 101. Keep rotating your shields. You got dorsal, ventral, and side shields. Let's move around a bit, guys.
So it just plays it a bit dumb. It's like, well, then turn. Or fire damn torpedoes. Although it is weird to have such an aggressive arm. Like, they are full on like at war for 25 seconds. And you can imagine they get quite damaged too. It's quite unusual to get that sort of vicious. But Picard comes on and makes a move.
He looks badass. He looks badass when he walks onto that bridge.
Yeah, he does.
Seeing Picard and the strut he comes in on and the lighting and the cut in his shirt, that is like, damn, son.
Well, he's like, this is absolutely life and death. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Preston M, $15.
Oh!
Thank you so much. Can't stick around, but wanted to swing by and say I like the episode. Interesting concept. Enjoy the chats. Thanks. Thank you so much, Preston. Hopefully you go back and watch this because we've had fun.
Yeah.
And see us get progressively more drunk as this goes on. You didn't do a metaphor, but I'm still going to have a drink because...
Well, 15 is a hefty drink.
Not far in.
Thank you.
And Swiftback, $2. Samuel, his haircut. The COVID do gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine's like long. Look at this shit. Look at this. Look
Looks
at
good.
Look at it does not look good at all.
Look, just turn your shields to face the screen and you're fine. Mm-hmm. Are you out of VFX budget? So you can't turn the ship.
Something like that.
Now, I like the ending concept, but the only thing that annoys me is that Picard learned all of the phrases he needed to get out of the situation in the one conversation before he died. What are the chances?
But he says phrases that aren't in the conversation that he had.
Yes and no. He says one thing at the start where he says about winter. I think he's just making something up to show them I can speak and write, because they don't know his version of language. I think he's just saying something in rhythm to know I'm starting a conversation with you.
I disagree. I think there was probably a cutout scene or something that was in the script that this held up. I mean, Zinda, his face black, his eyes red, was said by the guy right before he died. Also, somebody's children, their faces wet, mean they were crying.
But Picard doesn't say it, though. The other guy says it, though. What does Picard say? I thought he just says...
Temerek, the river Temerek, which is what the captain said to the first officer when they were arguing earlier.
Okay, that's a good memory, but okay.
In winter. Then Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.
Well, then it's just the same stuff.
His eyes open, yes. The beast of Tanagra, Yuzanti, his army, Shaka when the walls fell.
Really
so that says that told them that their captain is dead. So then they do their little pull out the knife, touch it, do the forehead thing, put the knives back, and the first officer just kind of does the nod. Yeah. Then he sends over the captain's log, which I didn't see him beam up with. Where was that, by the way? Tucked into his pocket that doesn't exist.
Both uniforms.
Yeah. It was a cool scene, though, seeing it in his hand and then materialize like just one small pan over to the view screen.
That is one of the best things in the episode because it's so real.
Yeah. And then we get the first officer says Picard and Dathon at Aladril,
which is lovely. That's a nice moment.
And then Mara with sails unfurled. I mean, let's get out of here. So Picard offers him the knife and says, "Temba, my arm's open. I want to give you the knife, like with the fire." And he's like, "Temba at rest," which means you can keep it. And Picard's like, "Thank you." Which I wish the knife made more of an appearance later. Sure, we get the thing that's on the back of his chair that he got from the Mentakins. The knife has a very special meaning, I would think, to Picard at this point. Because life and death with this other captain, captain kind of thing. I'm sure the knife is around in his quarters. We just never really see it, or they don't focus on it.
I guess it's still a stabby thing.
That's what knives are.
Symbolic. So. Well, symbolically, it's not as good. But like I said, briefly, I just don't like the fact that the speech is just everything we've already heard. I wish he was more. Because I remember the end speech being more. I'm able to create more metaphors, but he's just reciting what he thinks he needs to say. I just find it a bit like same with if what we said earlier was true. If they had lots of conversations for the episode, and he pulled lots
and off screen conversations. I'm not sure exactly what happened off screen, but I get the assumption there wasn't a lot. But if they had sat at the campfire and who knows what could have happened, right? Like yes, that would have made a lot more sense. In the context, so
yeah, because it would have sounded more interesting to show. Because again, at the start, Picard bragged about knowing languages, but all he's saying is 3 phrases put together. He
didn't brag about knowing languages. He bragged about understanding people.
But his ability to, like his personal skills. But like I say, all he says to the captain is, "Me with the beast at the place we failed." Like there's no extra thing. It's small and it worked, but I was just expecting more from it. But I love the reaction of second in command. I love the fact that he goes from this actual war footing where this is. I mean, if they understand this is the flagship, it's a big deal. But it's like no, that was the point. It's good. We're all good. It's genuinely quite effective.
I do like what happens next to get the power back. And so do we have a new friend, Captain? He's like, well, at least I'm not sure, but at least they're not new enemies.
Which is
holding up the knife.
Poignant. Although it again reiterates this episode isn't about the actual episode. Like we're never going to see them again. They're not going to be referenced again. They don't matter. But it's a character study case on this sort of what happens if you can't actually understand people. That's the point, not the actual race or the actual situation.
Yes.
So,
but I wish the captain had stayed alive, and I wish there was a possibility that maybe they could meet up again later. Like they seem like they would be friends from this point forward, right? Like even Balance of Terror, in a different time, in a different reality, I could have called you friend.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. That's poignant. That's like yes, you can see
layers.
kicking back like 40 years later, going, remember that time? Yeah.
And then your daughter married my son, and I was very conflicted. It's real weird. And not just that, but you can imagine some random season 7 episode where the cold open is Picard talking at his monitor saying, "And Picard and Gillard in da da da." And it's like a 2-minute speech, and Riker walks in and is like, "Oh, is it the whatever the captain's name was?" Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that would have been a lovely, like super deep reference. I'm He didn't need to die. It didn't add that much poignance to the story. It had some.
It was pulling in our mythology and the story that Picard told. Like they're these good friends that were enemies to begin with, became close over common threat, and then, yeah, it gives an impact. If he had survived, it'd be like, okay, well, yeah, they went through this thing, but
it's still kind of an abstract death. It doesn't fully come across the way they hope.
They try to do it in dialogue later in a second here, where he died just hoping for the chance of communication,
which is lovely.
Like, that shows his dedication to his captaincy and his people. But I don't know if it really hit people the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
I mean, the more you watch it, the more you understand it, and the more you think, yeah, that was pretty poignant that he did that. But you just watch this once or twice, and you're like, eh.
Well, I love the fact that this is a fellow starship captain on a equally as powerful ship, if not more powerful. This guy sacrificed himself. Although it's a really pussy-ass battle, let's be fair. He's not a fighter, clearly, But he did. Would Picard do the same thing? Would he literally sacrifice himself just to make first contact with the race? Or eighth contact? And so there is this sense of he's the captain I could never be, but I respect and admire, because he literally gave everything to be an explorer. And that's really strong. As we said a few times, I wish they'd took out a good fifth of it, moved all the way forward, had another really good scene, and then this would be more powerful. They spend too long in the first third. This is better. This is a great ending if we had more punch in the middle. Yes. This is lovely. The phrasing is lovely.
Well, before we get to the closing scenes here, not a bad account, $5. Worf, his phaser drawn, means someone, the Worf, is about to get beat up.
Or shot down to not do anything with it.
No, Mr. Worf. Yes. We should do a whole review in metaphors. God damn, that would be really hard. We have to kind of...
I think we've done enough in a JJ episode, fully in character, and a April Fools. They were hard enough.
We have some JJ stuff in character that hasn't even been released yet. It was filmed when we were together, which, goddamn, we got a lot of gold in the vault, man. And by the way, somebody was asking me on the other live about the CXV 330, the ring ship, the Enterprise, and that episode. So
I'm glad they were. How's the holodeck going?
It's going great. There's a folder right there.
Good.
Is that the thing? You hold in the ring ship episode and the chronology of the future episode with Rick Sternbach.
That I haven't done much on. I've done a lot more of the ring ship one. I've done the old animations of that. Yeah, I got some nice animations. That's
good to know. I will work on the holodeck episode then. Maybe, I don't know.
You've said that for 2 years.
I still need the template that you were going to send me so that I could just put in the ship myself. You got to change the LCARs. The LCARs that I have doesn't say.
Didn't you also lose Premiere? Was that Photoshop?
I have to reinstall Premiere, but that's neither here nor there because I don't know how to fucking use it anyway. So I'd rather use Corel. So just
Corral.
It's not a corral.
Corral
has 2 R's. Corral has 2 R's and is an A. Corel is the name of the software. A corral is where you put horses.
Internagro.
Samuel, his eyes covered. All right, moving on. Kenju 22, $5. Knife on the shelf by the flute. Okay, so it does show up later. Okay, good to know. Sean Corpier, $5. My jacket, a big pocket concealed inside. That jacket could have a pocket. I got a lot of jackets that have inside pockets. So there you go. And it's small enough it would fit.
That's good.
So that's fine.
That's good.
Sean Corpier, $5. Maybe he realized that there may be a war in the future if they didn't communicate. Yeah, probably. I mean, territory's growing. Ran into each other 7 times over the course of 100 years. It's time that the Federation, who's like the biggest, whatever in this area.
Yeah.
We should maybe make contact so they don't kill us.
Well, then, as you said, maybe send the database over.
Yes.
Try
by all means.
harder.
Yeah. Yeah, an encrypted data packet right to Starfleet Command. Here's all of our stories.
Or just Voyager 6, the Temerian version. I was thinking the entire time, just send out that, you know.
Yeah. Mark Lawrence puts in $5 with no comment, but thank you so much, Mark. I will have a drink for that. Out of band account, $2. Maybe a California class ship makes second contact. Oh, goddamn.
Well, 9th contact.
Well, yeah. Well, second official contact after being part of the Federation.
Oh, God. Can you imagine the diplomatic meetings with these guys have been part of the Federation?
Signing the treaties and stuff would be brutal, dude.
Oh, God.
It's like Yoda. Yoda speaks like Yoda, but yeah, he's intelligent enough to understand.
Yoda speaks like Yoda? Revelation here on Trekyards, man. Whoa!
Man, nobody else knew that. I just dropped the bomb there.
On Star Wars Days, Boxing Day, the truth is here!
To the 5th. It's still kind of Star Wars Day. Anywho. So yeah, he's smart enough to understand the way other people speak, so he should be smart enough to restructure his goddamn sentences to make sense. So that's one thing that bothers me about Yoda. If you're smart enough to understand and read a language and listen to a language and understand it, you're smart enough to be able to speak it properly.
Stuart, he's 12 for that shit. He's going to talk how he wants to talk.
That's true. That I'll give him that. You're absolutely right. 900-year-old, yes.
And he's been like the head of Jedi for like 200 years. You shut the fuck up and listen to what he says. He can talk how he wants.
He's saying everything properly. Nobody else has just caught on yet because they're all too young.
Oh, they are to him, yeah.
Yeah.
You're the agent us just played Jar Jar. I'm not even going to go there.
Not a band account, $2. Maybe a California. Oh, I read that one already. God damn it. Sean Corpier,
$8
$5.
Contact!
A dilithium explanation episode that has also been filmed. However, we're going to refilm it because of season 3 of Discovery and the burn. We got some more information on dilithium. So that's on the to be refilmed list.
Which we have got.
There's another one.
There is.
The holodeck episode. We're going to refilm the holodeck episode. Based on, because I need to rewrite the script based on the lower deck shit.
So that's why it's not done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't rewritten the script yet, so that's one of the other reasons it hasn't been redone.
Yeah, we had dilithium, Laura Johnson, and warp core ejection. That's what we had.
Yeah. Yeah.
No holodecks though on this one, on my notes, but that's fine.
Well, we got new information from lower decks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
That's why we need to rewrite the dilithium episode, even though it was fantastic before the goddamn burn episodes came out. It would have been a great episode to have released beforehand. However, here we are, and we will make it better and greater and awesome. Better filming techniques, better cameras, better script writing, better everything.
Better hair, because we can go to hairdresser, as you said earlier.
Well, I'll need to, yeah. May 20th, I can go get my hair.
Yeah, that's not long.
Shut up. There's going to be a long lineup. I don't like sitting there. And there's old men that have no hair, like Picard, that are fucking sitting in the waiting room at the barbershop. It's like, what the fuck are you even here for? Get your goddamn wife to cut. It's what it is a fucking line. Why are you here? Why are you wasting my time in front of me? Oh my god.
But
I have too much to drink.
Stuart,
hi, how you doing?
That's when you ran to that video. Old guys in barbers. Captain Foley ran to that.
That's on my rant list, actually.
It's not, is it? Really?
You want to hear the rant list?
What?
Got like
is it really?
40 things on it. Yeah.
That's incredible. I got it, I guess. Wow.
You know me too well, man.
That's horrifying.
I will rant about goddamn anything. Give me a reason. Where is it? Let's see if I can find it. We're getting way off track here. Sorry, Sean Carpier, $5. You listen better the way he speaks. True. He gets the important information out right away. Yoda gets to the point. He doesn't fill his speech with, shit you don't need.
Dying you are. Wait, what? See, he gets dying right there, first thing.
Yeah. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. XCV30, USS Enterprise. Yes. We have a fantastic script written for that one, guys.
And I have some fantastic CG that's rendered with all the pre-warp ships. They were fun to make.
And it's filmed as well, so it'll be coming out eventually. Just keep an eye out. Oh, where is it? It'll be near the end because. Sorry. Yeah, people sitting in a barber in line for the barber shop that don't have any goddamn hair. It's on the list. There's a whole list of rants. These are all rant ideas for the Rant Alert series. Just for the record.
Wow, that is genuinely impressive.
Whenever I think of something and I'm out, I just add it to the list.
I love it. But the thing is, though, just to continue on the very important hairdressing concept, but that's the barber's best friend because it takes no time and full charge. That's like easy money. You need those because whenever I go, especially when I was younger, I let my hair grow as long as possible, so it takes 20 minutes, whereas really it should take 5 to 10. But obviously I've got a lot of hair because I wait 6 months, so I'm sucking. I suck for them in a 5 minute.
The exact wordage here is people in barber shops who obviously don't need a fucking haircut, especially just after lockdown. It's like, go away.
It's like that's 6 months of growth, is it? Grow up. Oh no, don't. You're old. Stay the same age and don't go here. Right, I'm gonna go pee for a second. I want to see.
Who are you impressing at that age to get your haircut? Just stop. Sorry.
Your your
grandchildren.
Tinder. Old man Tinder. Oh yeah, some sort of. What's an old phrase for a Tinder? Tinder's like a fire. Oh, like a
bonfire.
Yeah, the bee fire app. Or
a forest fire.
Oh god,
something major.
What's the thing at the end of it if a fire's gone out, it's in the fire pit and it's dead. It's a dead.
An
fire.
ember.
Yeah, the ember app for burned out Tinders.
That's good. That's very good.
Right. I want to see $17 more while I go pee. Throw us
$17 and 10 more likes, guys.
Throw us some good shit, as in phrases, and I'll be back in a minute.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for sticking around with us. Fleetpaw Swiftback, $5. Hey, I resemble that remark, Foley. That's a low blow. LOL. Foley, his foot raised. Fleetpaw, his balls squished. Cheers, my friend. I need to pour more wine. Do I need more wine? Do you guys like me on wine? This is how I get on wine. Just so you know. I should probably have this for all drunkyards because actually I get a fun drunk and not like, ugh. How much wine left in the bottle? In case you missed the beginning of the stream, this is Croatian wine. It's got a little donkey on the front. This is 2018. It was a good year, I guess. Sean Corp, $5. Add Jaeger and other stupid kit bash ideas. What, to the list? No. Jaeger, I don't think will ever be a thing. As far as an episode goes. I mean, eventually, maybe, sure. But, yeah. I'm just reading Sean Corpe's super chat, sorry. Add Jaeger and other stupid kit bash ideas.
No.
We wanted to do an episode, and we might still. The problem is we got so much new Trek now that we're dealing with that all the time.
Which is great.
So we can't. But you can't really get to the ship stuff. But eventually, once all the new Trek stops in 20 years, we can get back to ship stuff. So we did want to do an episode on the Wolf 359 fleet because there was a lot of kit bash designs for that, and that would be a good discussion. And that might be something that'll happen eventually. So
the only issue is I only have a couple in 3D. So as our standard is so high, it's that's why we didn't do the Norway for so long because we didn't have a model. There was no model. Now obviously we have the squadron model because I made it, which is great. But
because I made it. So perfect. We're not done the episode review yet, Guy.
I
just call you Guy.
Yeah.
Like Terrence and Phillip from South Park.
Thank you, friend.
Hey, Guy. My Canadian's coming out because I'm drunk.
Hey.
All right, so what happens next? Oh, yes. Hope I'm not intruding. He's like, no. Here's the damage report for the stupid shit I did while you were away. I'm sorry. And Picard is catching up on his Greek, his Homeric hymns, and maybe understanding our mythology, our own our root metaphors of our culture will help us understand them a little bit better. So we can relate to them, essentially.
I just wish that was followed up on. It's so... It leads off...
I'm sure it has been in a book. Like somebody mentioned that they have a song language for science and technology, which I think is fantastic. That's a great idea. But
no, for sure.
Yeah. And picks up the knife, and then he does the touch and the touch to the forehead. And that's very nice. It's very symbolic. Like I said, I wish this was at least mentioned later, because he had a bond with this other captain. And it's very much like enemy mine kind of thing. We see it there's an episode of Enterprise with the same... There's an episode of Enterprise that is literally, word for word, the script from Enemy Mine. Where Trip and the alien have to become friends and help each other. And it's a great premise. It's a great concept. And I think it happens in every Star Trek series in some form or another. It happened in this one with Geordi and the Romulan, which is in season 2. So I mean, it's a thing that happens, and I really like the connection these two had. I wish the Temerian captain hadn't died.
Well, I think unfortunately, had we got the scenes we said and restructured it, so they had more scenes, you would have needed to have seen more. But the way they structured it, you're like, okay, for most audiences. Any more it would have been too much. Yeah.
Jarzia, $5, 7.5 out of 10 for season, and 8 out of 10 for TNG. Despite criticism, still love this episode. Also unrelated, but on the 14th, Shepard and Garrus at the Citadel.
Is that the 14th? Yes.
I don't even know what that means.
Mass Effect Remastered, or whatever. That is... We have to work out a way of you playing that. Or see, I would literally just come to your house, or you come here, so I have my big PC, and just play this.
Your PC ain't that big, despite what you say. You're over-exaggerating. Come on now.
It's real freaking big.
What you make for in size, I make for up in quantity. I got more computers than you do.
I got 2.
Well, I've got 2, plus Sylvia's, plus Christian's, plus...
They're not your PCs.
They're fucking in my house. They're my PCs. I can use them whenever I feel like. Thank you very much.
Okay, go to Trekyards on Christian's PC next time. Live from Christian's room.
This is a gaming PC. It's probably better for it, to be honest.
Yeah, it probably is.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you should do that. Just do it live from his room once. It's just really confusing. Or have him do it. Be proto you.
Oh, that'd be fucking funny. Sean Corpe, $5. It's a shame this story is so final. Yeah, but you don't know it's final at the time. Like on a first watch through, you're like, dude, could they come back? Could they help? It would be cool to see like 1 or 2 Temerian ships in like one of the DS9 battles. Like, hey, these guys are part of the Federation now. We don't understand what the fuck they're saying to us as far as squadron maneuvers go, but hey, they're here.
Weapons on fire at Tanagra. Shoot them! Fire everything! They learned a few phrases of fire everything. And actually, boy, yeah, the fact they went in DS9 is a travesty. That would have been a great episode to see how Cisco and like Dax especially, because I can imagine Dax being a bit of a retcon that the Trill knew about them before. So she has like a few phrases. Yeah. How nice would that have been?
Yeah.
Like the Temerian ambassador is there and she's like, how'd you ever fall and chat with him? He's like,
you know what I want to see? I want to see a conference between the Packlids and the Temerians.
And the Tellarites.
Oh, they're a little too confrontational, but sure.
That would be that's a fan film of the making, that is.
Are we gonna get to our scores? Oh, Sean Corpe, $5. The captain, his household, the master. Fuck. That's absolutely right. I'm a lord, after all.
Yes.
Lord Captain Foley. Won't get into that. Anywho. All right, so I asked you first what you thought of this episode, so you go first with your scoring and your overall impression.
Okay, so yeah, it is good. It is good. I don't think it was oversold, because I know it's one of the classics, but I just think it is of its time more than a one that impresses nowadays. It stands up fine, but it could have been a lot better. But that is most things, right? There isn't a big tech thing. There isn't a big script thing. There's a single secret source idea which is stretched through the entire episode rather than like a lot of really cool ideas. So again, it's hard to, I enjoyed it fine, but like it's not as good as it should have been. And it wouldn't take much to improve. Just reshifting some things, give them more time. And I won't ding the uniform with points, but boy, ugly uniform.
I like the uniform, right? You don't have to keep bashing on it. So, just saying.
How's my Jared Leto Joker impression? I'm trying to do his cackle.
I was wondering what you're going for. Now that you've explained it, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I just started too, though.
Yeah. So I just started going weird. I just said, "Oh, I'll go Leto over there." I committed as I was doing it.
I really didn't have a problem with his Joker, by the way. Anyway, moving on. Continue.
So welcome to a review of Batman vs Superman, 4K re-release on 3D for Stuart.
No, Suicide Squad.
You're right. Yeah. Scores. Again, this season's gonna suck because we don't know the season really well. So these are always a pinch of salt. This season, 6.5, because I think there's some good episodes of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably say overall 7 for TNG, like higher, but it's just hasn't got that real secret source of really good quality. Like I'd rather watch the Arbor episode. That is like a barrel of fun. Mm-hmm. Or the one with the Hathaway. So I think 7's for me fair. It's good. There's a ton better, but also it doesn't do much bad. It just misses a lot of those. This. There you go. So, that was quick. 7.
By the way, guys, super chat your scores if you can. I will read those when we're done talking about our scores and reviews. And if you don't want to super chat, you just want to put in the regular chat, the commander will read those when we're done as well. So. And
we're looking for another. I'm going to do some math here. $28, and we are queuing our way to victory.
We're golden. Yes. All right. So on that premise, this episode had a lot of potential. And it is honestly one of the most quotable Star Trek ones. You see the, Darmok and Gelada Tanagra shirts all the time. And it's something that I think if you mention Darmok and Gelada Tanagra, a lot of people remember. Or Shaka when the walls fell. So it has that gestalt of being like important as far as pop culture goes. However, that being said, there was a lot here that was very repetitive, very kind of annoying and frustrating because it so easily could have been rectified if the other captain had just said more words about the story. He does say beast later. He does say island, coming together, leaving together. So those things said earlier would have definitely helped the situation. Picard's inability to understand what the fuck is going on really bothers me as well, considering his experience and his diplomacy skills. He does clue in eventually. However, it's a little too slow. I mean, for a plebe off the street is how he comes off on this one. He doesn't come off as a Starfleet captain that's been a captain for years.
Known for this stuff.
Exactly. He doesn't focus in fast enough. Same with Data. Data is a goddamn idiot in this episode. He's not Data. The way he speaks, the mannerisms, the way he doesn't put anything together. Sure, they give Troy some of his lines, which is great to see Troy have some lines and figure things out, but it should have been her working with Dr. Crusher maybe, because that would have been better as far as her kind of getting the one up on it. Like Data should have immediately been cross-referencing things in his head like that.
And I'll be honest, the way I didn't even remember those things, but yeah, it gets character things wrong. Like it just misdoes, but its own premise is so decent. But yeah, they don't direct and get. And everything on the ship's is so forgettable. You remember 3 scenes, you forget everything else, pretty much.
And Riker is so impatient, so aggressive. He's not captain material at this point. Like, he's already been offered the command a few times. It's like, thank God he didn't fucking accept it, because he would have been dead.
Hey, best of both worlds. He was, like, on it.
Yeah,
Where's that guy?
Exactly.
And that captain was kidnapped as well.
Yeah. One of the bonuses of this one, though, is definitely seeing Leffler, which later comes in with the episode with Wesley, which is great. I think Geordi's right on, perfect on this episode. He's definitely his character. Getting things done in a pinch even though it doesn't quite
well,
work.
failing
Like,
is great. You never see him fail.
Yeah,
It's quite refreshing, actually.
yeah, and he knew he was going to fail, but he's doing still what the commanding officer wanted. It's great. So overall, and I hate to do this. I don't know if this is because I'm drunk. This will be an interesting score for this because I see things a little differently when I'm drunk and or high. So honestly, for season 5, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. Kind of middle of the road. It definitely could have been better. It feels like I said, a 20-minute episode that was stretched to 45 minutes.
And let's be honest, we didn't need anything on the ship. We could have just seen the Picard planet stuff. That would have been absolutely adequate.
Yeah. As for all of Star Trek,
TNG,
sorry, all of TNG. So we're coming off such a high with season 4 because season 4, every episode was firing on all cylinders.
Yes.
And I know there's a decline at some point.
Or at least an averaging.
Yeah, this is one of the first kind of bumps in the road, in my opinion, because it could have been so much better. There was a lot more potential here, especially for storytelling. I do like the sci-fi aspect of it, but the metaphor language bothers me quite a bit, just how it all came about. So for all of TNG, I'm still going to have to give it a 4.5 out of 10.
Wow.
A lot lower scores than I usually give. The only reason that I think this one is memorable is because the fucking lines are repeated ad nauseum.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, like Shaka when the walls fell, so
yeah,
that's the only reason it's so memorable. I think it's a great premise. Having Paul Winfield back as the captain, which is the guy from Star Trek 2, Captain Terrell, was great. Although you don't really know it's him. It's hard to tell that's him because of the lines he was given. He's such a good actor in everything else that he's done. And this one, this one is just kind of like wasted on him, unfortunately. Like, I wish he hadn't have died. I get the poignancy of his death, and he was doing this to connect his people with the Federation, but at the same time, it would have been great for Picard to have somebody that. It's like the episode with where Riker goes over to the Klingon ship and becomes friends with the first officer.
Yeah,
I wish that guy had come back.
Needed to have,
because by the end of that episode, the beginning of the episode, there's a lot of confrontation. By the end of the episode, they understand each other. There's a lot of potential here that doesn't return, and I'm not saying that's bad because TNG kind of evolved. Like they had the opportunity to bring these characters back should they need to. They never needed to because they had such good storytelling. They didn't need to bring these people back. If they were kind of failing and floundering a little bit, they could have brought these other characters back in. So,
although DS9, I mean, God, the amount of Klingon episodes, why didn't they bring that guy back? What a lovely touch it would have been to have him be a captain in one episode. Yeah. Perfect.
And he's such a memorable actor as well.
Well, he was a Jem'Hadar, I think. Yeah, he was. I just watched his episode.
Yeah, he was a Jem'Hadar. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He's great in that one. He's actually really good. And Stuart, I'll be honest, I was wanting with the 6 all TNG, so I'm gonna downgrade my score because you get such a low score. Because it does. You're right. The data thing, it undersells almost every character.
I very rarely influence you. You influence me a lot more because that's your job as a first officer. But I appreciate that, so thank you.
Again, not bad. Just it misses. It swings and it misses in a few things. Right. Well, let's read the comments where we get butchered by our opinions.
Let's read some super chats here.
And guys, I'll be honest, we are $15 away from a really amazing. I've already got enough, but $15 and we are like at a lovely number. Like that, beautiful. So just so you guys know.
Yes. All right. Sean Carpe, $5. Jordy, our ships made go. Yes, the Packlids and the Temerians combined for that super chat. So thank you, Sean. Eugene, 250 rubles. Yes, the review for this episode is literally Pedro Pascal, good, better meme from Wonder Woman 1984.
Still waiting to see that film.
It's good, and yeah, Pedro Pascal is. Your life is good, but it could be better. That's exactly what this is about.
So I'm finally getting to see Maria in like 2 weekends, so we finally get to watch stuff because we watch all the Marvel stuff together.
Yeah.
I can finally watch it.
Enjoy Wonder Woman.
I know it's not
I
Marvel,
want to get your
but
opinion on it.
hey, that could be a review.
I know.
3 months late, 10 months late.
We've kind of talked about it here and there, interspersed.
Well, I just do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Borman, $5. The Packlids in winter. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. You gave it an 8 out of 10, Matt? Oh my god. I feel like my review score is too low now, but like I said, I'm drunk, so it'll be interesting to see how the rest of them go.
But it's hard.
Just remember, this is the drunk one when we go back and look at them at the retrospective.
Yeah. It's just hard because when you say how many characters they mistreated contextually, it's like that's a lot of them. Like,
yeah.
And it's tricky. You got to look at, every one of those things dings the score a little bit, Although, again, that I can't get that idea out of my head. This guy in a pack lid in a meeting room, that'd be an amazing fan film. Like, really expensive. I wouldn't want to make it, but that'd be a really good fan film. A pack lid and a Tellerian walk in a bar, and they never leave because they're trying to talk to each other so long.
I think the pack lid would get very frustrated and end up pulling a knife eventually. Because they wouldn't understand.
His burns the place down. He can't think too much. Like, I use fire now.
Temerian, his words make no sense. Fire. Fleet Pass Swift Pack, $5. 8 out of 10 for both. Wow, that's high, dude.
Very high.
Was good in its day. Could have been better. Could have been a bit better, but still a great episode. One of my favorites. Soka, his eyes uncovered. Is it one of your favorites? See, that's the thing, though. I think a lot of people's memories get clouded by nostalgia. Unfortunately, because this one is so memorable because it's, like I said, the lines are repeated ad nauseum way too many times, and that's why they're ingrained in your mind and in the culture, and that's why this episode, I think,
it's a zeitgeist.
Yes, it shines brighter than it should because of how well it's drilled into your head.
It's like the inner light. But in terms of like it shines for a very specific reason.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting to go back and see. It's like, ooh. Whereas, as I said, I basically watched this for the first time truly today, and so there's no nostalgia goggles. Whereas the episode The Game, I have all the nostalgia goggles, and I'm aware I like it for many reasons, and we'll see if it holds up, because I may not. But that is definitely one that stands out to me for my own reasons. This one does not.
Yeah.
As in, for my past self.
So I'm wondering, Fleetpa, if that's truly one of your favorite episodes, or just one of the more memorable episodes.
The thing is,
a lot of people confuse memorable with favorite.
Yeah.
There's a distinct difference. There's an enjoyability factor, and there's a actual good episode factor.
Well, we're also more keen to be not critical, but we understand a 10 is like really top tier, and even 9 is high. You're obviously slightly more high than I am, but that's fine. But where those numbers really means, so an 8 means like really high. If you actually percentage of episodes, like that's what, like 20 episodes are as good as this, because you can't have, if there's 200 episodes, you can't have 58 out of 10s. Like, it's a scale, so they're bad in the context of the show.
You would with Stargate, because Stargate is so good across the board.
Good comment. Damn it, that's true. No, that's fair. Yeah. He's got me there. Oh, Mr. Meatcat. Felt like it to me. Hi.
You would have to change your scoring. You'd have to change your scoring. I know you went away for a while. I just continuing where I left off.
Yeah.
You'd have to change your scoring scale for Stargate, because everything would be like 8 and above. And that's just not quite the way things should be scored. They should be scored fairly. So
yeah. So you're right. Yeah, there shouldn't be. So yeah, a show can be mostly 9s, 8s, 7s, 6s, and 5s. But I would feel weird if every show in a season of a franchise was 8 out of 10. It's like, oh, okay,
It's a consistently good show, though.
But that's really good, because consistently good is like 5, where it's like consistently averagely good. 8 is like, this is a really good. It's not, whoa, and it's not perfect. Like 8 is really good.
Well, Star Trek you can't take like that. Star Trek you have to take by seasons, unfortunately.
And shows.
Not series. Yeah.
This episode, if this episode was an Enterprise, it'd be better here, because the cast is like they have done the same stories as you said in multiple seasons. Sorry, Stuart, keep going.
Almost done. Sean Corpier, $5. The Temerian ship was in DS9 and Voyager also. Temerian ship shows up a few times in different iterations, so yes.
The miniature.
Yes.
Unconfirmed actual Temerian.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Sorry, just have to be technical there.
Let's see. Sergeant Montgomery, $2.
Thank you.
Uzani, his army with fists closed. 8.5 out of 10. Snipe. Why are people giving this so high scores? I don't know if I'm seeing clearer because I'm drunk, or if I'm just. Should I be drunk for more reviews, Samuel? Because I think I'm more critical and a little bit more well spoken sometimes.
Well, you know, the thing is, you're able to let yourself come out.
It's wine.
Yeah. You're not having to. You're not going to succumb to the peer pressure of what everyone else thinks is great. You're literally just able to say purely what your heart says. You know, so I guarantee in this situation you'd say more things with 10 out of 10 as well, because you'd be like, I love this one. I get hard on. I'm 11 out of 10. Like, and that's fine. So I think you have more of that sort of thing.
Sean Corpier, $5, 8 out of 10. Fuck, wow. One of my favorite and memorable. Also add the rude aliens.
Okay.
The Tellarians.
Okay, let me just put some into context, because you say 8 out of 10, right? That's so.
And one of our favorites. We've heard that a few times now.
So just put into context, guys. For the me scores, if I was to give this an 8 out of 10, right, it would be as good as Booby Trap.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's memorable, maybe, for different reasons. See, memorable and good are different.
It'd also be as good as Deja Q for both of us. Is this as good as Deja Q?
No.
Sins of the Father?
No. Well.
Sins of the Father, Stuart. Is it as good as Sins of the Father?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Nope.
And I'm going by our scores. Use Hollow Pursuits was an 8. Hollow Pursuits is better.
I'm trying to remember what Hollow Pursuits is about.
Yeah, me too, but you said it. It's fine. We both gave best. Although a little tingy, but Data's Day you gave 8.5. So Data's Day is only a little bit better than this. Ooh, it's way better than this.
Data is way better than this. Yeah, exactly.
I gave it a 9. You gave 8.5. So, you know what I mean? Like, once you can say scores, but we try to keep it consistent. Yeah. Nth Degree, I gave an 8, which is the Barkley one. That's better than this one. Yeah. Definitely better than this one. Yep. You said less. I mean, in the 8 factor. Drumhead, we both get 7.5. You know, it's like, is this really better than Drumhead?
No, it's absolutely 1,000% not better than Drumhead.
Now, you might have given Drumhead a 9 or a 10, fine, but think about that.
Okay,
you know?
The concept might be better, but
sure.
the delivery, the complete package isn't there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic premise and concept, but was it delivered on? As you said, it was done better in Stargate.
It really was.
And I totally agree with you, 1,000%. So.
And also, I would say this is probably an amazing 15-minute short. Like if you did it down. Woo!
Yep. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. My God, Sergeant Montgomery, $2. To me, it's first contact with the script flipped.
Well, you missed Sean. Did you get those two? The other two?
No, I read Sean, then I read Sergeant. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said 8 out of 10. Really? Like, it surprises me that people are saying this is one of their favorite episodes. I disagree. I think it's just ingrained in your memory because the lines were said ad nauseum during the episode.
Which get annoying, honestly.
Yeah, which you don't remember afterwards, but you remember the episode, so you think, if I remember it so well, it must be one of my favorites.
Yes. And Joseph says, but also Shaka did 5, which is your score, is not good, it's average. Because half the episode is average or below. So it pulls it down.
Yes. This has a great concept, a great premise, and some great acting and some great delivery.
And 3 great scenes.
Lines. Exactly, but it's not cohesively as a whole piece. It's not it's not a good fit. it needed a lot of refinement and polishing to make it where you guys are placing it in 8 out of 10. It needed a lot more passes through the script.
Because the Stargate episode with Shaka, I would probably say it's an 8 out of 10 because it has a really strong actual A story. And then the real story is strong. And then you also have the internal story with Shaka and Daniel, which is very developed. And it actually has so much more. I mean, it's made 20 years later. They have more complex stories. This is it's a very simple story.
Yeah. Eugene, 100 rubles. Is it really worse than half of Picard season 1? This is better than.
Oh, hold on, Stuart. Hold on, Stuart.
I'm back now.
Yeah, what was your response, sorry?
My response to Eugene, who says, is it really worse than half of Picard season 1? It's better than all of Picard season 1 because Picard is fucking garbage.
Except Nepenthe, which has
There's a few moments.
That's like half great, half oh man.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch it. I only watched Picard like 2 or 3 times each episode.
I'm not gonna watch it.
I need to go back and watch it as a whole.
I don't want to watch it that time.
I am. That's how I am. I need to go back and watch Star Trek. Might get little nuggets out of it.
I know.
Hey, I'm gonna try. Shut up. Anyway, Sean Corpier, $5. One of my favorite films is Insurrection. Sorry about my opinion, LOL. Samuel likes Insurrection. I don't.
Calling it a long episode, so what? Episodes are good. How is that negative? It just failed in a few key things, but it succeeds in lots of other things. There's lots of good things in it. It kind of like this episode. Should have been better. Have potential. Missed out a few
wine now, just for the record. So this bottle's gone. I drank a whole bottle of goddamn red wine during this. Last glass.
The wine of truth.
It is the wine of truth. I need to drink more wine during reviews because I really like the way I'm feeling and I like the way I'm seeing things.
And you're speaking.
And I don't agree with any of you because you're all. You're mistaking nostalgia for good, and it's not that. That's not how things work.
Well, you're also missing iconic scene, iconic thing.
Yes.
You know, a one moment does not save an entire episode. A one moment does not make Data feel completely wrong. Does not make, you know what I mean? Like that entire. Anyway, but let me read some non-super chat comments as we get into that. Happiness Gnome says, "Why didn't Darmok make it into the top 10 most memorable quotes of Trek in our top 10?"
That's a good question. It really should have, because it is out there in the pop culture. So that's why I think we need to define and have different top 10s. One is the top 10 Star Trek influence on pop culture quotes and or references, and then a top 10 Star Trek fan or Trekkie quote list, because they'd be completely fucking different, honestly. And I think we had a mix of both when we did ours, because we weren't really on the same page as what.
No, we were not. No, I thought we were on a different page. I got a different book, I'll be honest. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, for me, it's because the quote doesn't mean anything. Like,
it means failure.
Okay, great.
No, Shaka, when the walls fell.
Yeah, it's the zeitgeist. It's not meaningful. It's not History of the Same Enterprise. It's not Engage. It's not Red Alert. Like, it's just this thing they say 44 times that's a gimmick. Like, I don't care. Sorry, it's fine, but I'm not going to quote it for the sake of it.
Actually, Darmok and Gelada Tanagra perfectly encapsulates Trekyards. Foley and Calkins at YouTube. We created something that's fantastic. It's exactly the same thing. Trekyards is just fantastic. Don't even start. I'm drunk, so it's fine.
I'm just going back to the find where I left off in the normal chat. Ooh. Okay, there's the scores. Oh, wait, Denver is the first one. Oh no, Stuart. You're into my nets. You're into my nets.
I'm back. Goddamn, I was praising the fans in the community, and it cut me off. You guys are great. We've created a great community. And by the way, Jarzia sent a PayPal, which I'm trying to find right now on my email. Um, so I think we created something great. So yes, we are Darmok and Gelada Tanagra. Two separate entities came together at YouTube and created Trekyards. I'm sorry, but Foley and Calkins at YouTube is a fantastic metaphor, which you guys should all be spewing forward.
And what, three to four times a week, you take a boat to this island, and you listen to us talk, and then you leave on the ocean together. Trekyardians. But let me read some non-super chat scores. We have an 8 out of 10, 8.5, 8, 7, 6, 8.6, 7, 7.5, 6, which was Mr. Meerkat.
Better scores. Those are better scores.
6, Martin Devon. Oh, there we go. So yeah.
I'm trying to find your PayPal. It's not showing up yet, so...
Which does sometimes happen, unfortunately.
Do you want to take a check on your end, Samuel, just in case? Because I'm trying to refresh my phone.
Sure, I can do that.
We got some more super chats, though, so that is great. Fleetboss with back $5. My criteria for being one of the favorites is, do I enjoy watching this? Can I watch it many times and not get sick of it? Is it memorable? That's interesting because that's my gauge as well, my enjoyability factor, whether I want to rewatch it. If it's on, will I sit down and watch it? Or will I go, okay, I can leave the room now or change channels? So, and that plays a big part in this. This one, I mean, yeah, I'll watch it, but do you really have to? Because you know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's not.
You know the lines that are going to be said. There's no depth, really.
Also, the criteria are all subjective, which is fine. I tend to come at things from more of a filmic perspective, which is slightly more subjective. Yes. You know, I can point out a faulty edit, etc., etc. I can be both, which is nice. I mean, so can Stuart to some extent, but you obviously follow the heart more than the technical head sometimes, which is fine. I'm literally trained for this, which is why I often give things lower, because me seeing data out of character, I'm thinking you didn't refine the script enough. / you couldn't write yourself out of a problem. I'm thinking that's an easy script thing to do. But it unfortunately, like I said right at the start, Stuart, this was, and I did find the PayPal, by the way. I have that lined up.
Okay, I don't have it yet. So.
Yeah, I've got it. It's all good. Like I said, this at the time would be a high score. That Stargate episode is absolutely better. So I've seen a better example of this in the last 20 years. So I'm obviously looking at it saying, is it now standing out on its own merits? And it's like, sort of. But at the time, it was more groundbreaking. But that's not... You're trying to review something, it's got to be relative to its time. Otherwise, the Jetsons is 10 out of 10 because it did a thing, which is, all good things. Oh, come to an end. And go back in time. I'll do the PayPal first, though, because they've been waiting. So, Timothy says, maybe when you finish TNG, you should take all TNG episodes. Pick your favourite and least favourite. Remove those from the list. Pick your favourite and least favourite from what's left, and so on, working towards the middle. And then do a live to see how that ranking lines up with the scores you gave before.
That is something we will do. That is something that I think we would consider doing ourselves.
Take out our top 20.
Thank you.
And then see what's left. Sort of thing.
What's the average TNG episode out of 7 seasons?
I mean, the thing is, we have been actually generally doing scores, so we could tell you our, which we hopefully will, our top.
We could have a graph. We could have a visual graph.
Oh my god!
Look at.
Can I give it to a fan to do, please, and then plot a graph?
Yes. Please, somebody out there, help us with the graph, because Samuel doesn't have the time.
That'd actually be so cool. Skill. Actually, because we could see where for us TNG peaked. Because there should be a genuine. Oh, that'd be really interesting. Nice, I like that.
All right, so Eugene, 400 rubles. It's very good sci-fi plot. It's very good first-time viewing, but regrettably, it's worse when you watch it again and again, because you already know the premise. Nevertheless, it's real Star Trek episode, and I love it for this. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. But then again, watching it more and more, you understand a lot more when the Tamarians are talking to each other. You're like, oh god, yeah, they're fucking married, those two. Like, it's a definitely captain and commander kind of relationship. So,
yeah, I think it's more of probably a 4, probably like a 4 watch. Like twice, I think sounds great, but probably it's not a repeat viewing. Like some films are, you see that bonus context. Although briefly,
given time and distance, yes, watch it again.
which I've done, and it's
don't
great.
Watch it. Yeah, exactly.
Joseph says, what would Samuel rate my fan film if he rates this 6 out of 10? I'll just comment on that briefly. This episode probably had like a $500,000 budget and actors that are on $1 million+ salaries a year and one of the best makeup artist teams in the world. I self-funded mine without any money, so I don't think it's fair to compare a high-end TV production versus a fan film that could do less. So you've got to relay it to what it did. Better to compare to an episode of TNG, which was only in a shuttle. So, yes, that might only be a 6 out of 10 for Star Trek, if this was higher than, But it's like, yes, but I also had less than 1% of the budget, which therefore makes it more impressive that I was able to achieve it all. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a fair comparison anyway. And, if I had 500,000, I could probably beat this episode, no offense. But that's not, there are better episodes to write. Give me 500,000, I can do it.
How is it that we're almost at 3-hour mark with an episode that really repeats lines over and over again? Because I'm drunk and I'm allowing this? Is that why?
We had fun and talked
usually
about
I'm like,
barbershops.
I'm hungry, I need to go now.
I'm having fun. Having fun.
All right, 2 more super chats. Sean Carpier, $5. Captain, his internet's unfurled. Hey, stop it. That's on the fucking rant list, by the way. Complaints about Canadian internet. We have some of the best internet in the world. Just I have an old infrastructure in this fucking neighborhood. Don't even get me started. I'll rant right now. Do you want a rant alert right now?
Stuart, give us the elevator rant alert. You get 3 minutes. It's a long ride. It's a TOS Deck 2 ride. Okay, 3 minute stopwatch.
No, it's fine. I don't want to get into it.
Stuart, no, you get 2 minutes.
I'm feeling in a good place.
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
I'm not going to get into it.
Okay.
We have some of the best internet in the world. We have the best infrastructure.
It does suck, though.
Anywho. Peter Lukaku, $10.
Ooh.
Love the new fan film production. Well done considering COVID. I was hooked. Made me go back and rewatch Temporal Anomaly.
Dun,
dun, dun.
That's nice to hear. And Temporal Anomaly is a
Were you stuck in a time loop that you had to go rewatch Temporal Anomaly?
Maybe. But Temporal Anomaly is a 2-watch film. You actually have to watch it twice to get the second layer, which is great. No One From Home, not so much. That's a 1-watch, but watch it twice if you want. It's getting great views. I'm very happy. So everyone that did watch it, thanks so much. I
still don't watch the official launch of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. You saw. You got pre-release. It's at 14,758 views since Friday, which is lovely. When I hit 20,000, I am content. That's damn good for a fan film. And I can confirm, guys, bit of breaking news. We are, despite the Indiegogo going so a long time ago, but so. Hopefully you can all support. We're filming one of the new shorts on the 13th of this month. So COVID is going well, and we're going to sit down, and so you will see some content, as in some pictures on people in costume on a set, a green sheet, a set.
And you might even see Captain Foley at some point.
You have to. He's written the script. Characters talk to you, call you Foley. You better be in it.
Damn Skippy, man. Everybody's been asking, so. Sean Carpier, $5. Alan Moraine, count to 4. Alan.
Oh.
Really? Really? Why is my internet going to shit right at the end here?
Because Alan Moraine, Stuart. You got Alan Moraine.
Why is my internet going to shit right at the end? Because Alan Moraine was brought up.
Yes.
And my internet's like, nope, you're not broadcasting that filth to the world.
Will that be one?
Sean, you're fired.
Seriously, might that be our lowest episode review score? Because we found stuff in season 1 TNG that was there were nuggets of really good in season 1 that up to every normal average. Will that be our lowest ever score? Because we haven't given a 1 yet. I don't believe we've given a 2 yet.
There's good stuff in that episode, though. You remember the shit because it's repeated ad nauseum. That's one of the reasons that people think this one is one of the best episodes ever. It's not. That's one of the reasons people think that's one of the worst episodes of DS9 ever. It's not.
Oh, all tracks.
I guess it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sorry, I should rephrase that.
Oh,
anyway,
thanks.
It said so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it said so much in that episode that you lock onto that and you remember it, and it's awful.
I will say I do like the main guy's makeup and his acting. Even though it's obnoxious, it's good acting.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Anyway, guys, that's a good place to probably leave it. We hit some fantastic goals. We got 124 likes.
Yes.
That is awesome. I think we should probably call it because we're almost coming up to 3 hours, and I do need to go eat.
I have to wake up early to do a screen read.
And wandered away, so I don't know what's happening with that.
Dear me.
But anyway,
fantastic.
Thank you guys. This has been fun. I didn't expect this one to go this long, but it's been fun.
Yes.
Red wine. I think I should do red wine for more reviews because goddamn, I am 100% honest and I don't give a shit. So, not that I'm not honest all the other times, but I can tend to put on the goggles of nostalgia usually.
Love it. Well, thanks so much, guys. I have got a meeting tomorrow, but probably still make time for a live because it's probably early in that, but we'll see. I'm not quite sure. And I will be doing a live about my short and Indiegogo at some point next week. Hopefully, you guys are tuning for that. And if you haven't seen it, go. If you want to be Indiegogo, please do. And tune in for this Saturday. Obviously, if we don't see you for the anti-tracker debate / discussion / argument part 2.
And don't forget, Friday night is Trekkie Trivia. There was a good one last week, so...
Boom. Did you win that one too, Stuart?
What's that, sorry?
Did you win that one too, Stuart?
Yeah, I always win when it's my own show. I've won 2 of the 3 Jeopardy games I've been on in the past, 2 months, so...
Quite impressive.
Relax. And I came in second yesterday. That's not bad.
Very good.
I'm still in the top 3.
Very good.
So, I'm good. Paul Droz did £2.50. Trekkie when he was shattered. Sleepy.
I look forward to sleep, Bob. Good night, everyone.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you later. It's Captain Foley.
Commander Kongs.
Signing off. We gotta do a metaphor. Foley and Calkins saying goodbye on YouTube. I don't know. I can't think of anything because I'm drunk. Come on with a good one.
At Tanagra.
Okay.
Not
when the walls fell.
Yeah, I don't know.
Success.
No, it's Stuart.
Success.
When the OBS fell.